Good morning.
And welcome to another episode of Morning Ritual. I'm one of your hosts, Noir. I'm
Uh,
kind of awake.
I'm your other
Wait,
host,
what happened?
who is wait, what's
No.
go? Oh, we're good. We're good. We're good. I'm your other host, Anita. My pronouns are she/they, and I am barely caffeinated. Also, kind of tired. But we got an amazing
We
guest.
don't have the right to we don't have the right to complain. Drac, what time is it over there, if I might ask?
It's like 4
The
o'clock.
time here is actually good. I think, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm
Oh.
good. You are like ridiculously early.
I'm used to it being the shoe on the other foot. This motherfucker will be up at like 3 a.m.
Yeah, no, I'm ahead of you, but right now, because I'm ahead, I'm at a decent time to be awake.
Wait, are you in the future or the past?
I'm in the future.
Oh shit, do things get better?
Yeah. Oh, they get. Oh, no. No. I'm so sorry to tell you.
Me.
I can't. I couldn't. I'm sorry.
We've got a fantastic guest today, Drac. Please tell the people about yourself.
Hi, I'm Drac or Draconics. I use he, they pronouns, and I am a TTRPG producer, streamer, actual play, performer. I do TTRPG writing as well. Honestly, anything and everything TTRPG related, I am doing or will be doing. But yeah, and I'm excited to be back after what we learned was almost 3 years.
I
since the
know.
last time I was on the show.
You our fucking minds with that shit. God damn, 3 fucking years. I do have to tell the audience for full transparency, I hate this motherfucker's guts. He's my nemesis.
Yep. Yeah. Noah's the only one who's been worthy enough to be my nemesis. So you're going to witness me destroy him live on stream. I'm sorry, it's going to be against TOS. I'm so sorry, Anita, but it has to be done.
Listen, don't let the accent fool you. This man is evil. He is evil, and I'm the good guy.
Don't let the accent fool you. I feel like this is an accent of an evil person. What do you mean?
You know what? That's true. But also, like, no, I don't have any defense. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Lobby
This
takes
is
away some of the
The
defense
British
that you had last week
Empire.
anyways. Lobby is in chat.
Oh no, they're preparing to gang up on me already.
Hey, I didn't think it was gonna be right after mental work, so
that was I still have in all fairness, I warned y'all, I suck at scheduling. I've got 2 actual plays that I'm like still in the midst of scheduling, and I have to schedule.
Oh no,
Starcross. I hate schedule. Listen, I'm the idea guy. Anita is dealing with logistics. Anita tells me you have a thing to do today, and I do it. Like I'm very simple that way. But we still got to schedule a Starcross game. That being said, my goodness, you are humble. You have your intro. You're just like, I do things in the actual play space. My guy, you wrote on Doctor Who. I'll never forgive you for that because that's the coolest shit ever.
And Pathfinder.
And Pathfinder, yeah. We're not sad Yeah. I guess I'll talk about I wrote for the 60th anniversary celebration of Doctor Who's TTRPG. So I got to write an adventure for that. I wrote Matt Smith's adventure on that one. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. The folks at Cubicle 7 are awesome. I think they saw that I was really into Doctor Who. And I think a couple of years ago, is it 2 years ago at this point? I was producing a Doctor Who actual play using their system. And then they reached out and they were like, hey, do you want to write something for us? And yeah, I was very excited when they did. They apparently loved what I wrote, which is always a surprise to me for some reason. I always get very anxious, and then they're like, feedback comes back and they're like, it's good. So I'm like, oh, thank God, they're not gonna like blacklist me in the entire industry.
So I've never played the Doctor Who TTRPG. So does a player take the role of the Doctor and everybody else is just a companion, or how does that work?
So I get this question a lot whenever I talk about it, because I think the Doctor Who TTRPG is probably one of the best written systems, like best written IP TTRPGs ever, in my opinion.
Oh,
'Cause I think he does a really good job. So like you can play the Doctor. So in my actual play, I was the Doctor, and we played and others played different companions. But the system itself does a very good job of making sure everyone's equally as powerful. So like even though you're the Doctor, your companions are just as useful and powerful in situations as you are.
oh.
And even if you like play aliens, if you play a human, you're still just as useful as the aliens, just in different subsects.
Okay.
But yeah, you can play the Doctor. They usually with every edition they release a character sheet for that current Doctor. So I think in the 6th they actually released the 14th Doctor. They hadn't released the 15th yet. I think that's going to be coming soon, I imagine. But yeah, you can play the current Doctor. You can play any companions. You can make your own Time Lords. There's rules to create your own Time Lords, your own aliens. Yeah, no, it's honestly really balanced. It's really balanced and really has the tone for Doctor Who. Because one of my favorite things is the initiative system. And you don't roll for initiative. Like they don't give a shit about that. They have an order of what you want to do. There are talkers, doers, runners, and then fighters, and that's the order you go in. So they basically incentivize you talking things out first, doing things, and then running and fighting the very last thing you want to do. So that's how initiative works. Obviously, you can change it. Like if someone does something, you're like, actually, I don't want to talk anymore. After that reaction, I want to run. You can switch it up. But like that's how they order it. So they really have like right down to the bones of the system. They have like this is Doctor Who. So there's a lot of fun writing for that and messing around with that.
I love when a system like knows the property that they're building for. That's amazing. Yeah. Who's your favorite Doctor? Put you on spot right now.
Ncuti. It has to be Ncuti. I love Ncuti Gatwa so much. Truly, like I love Ncuti from the beginning, from like Sex Education. He's an incredible actor, like phenomenal actor. And then I was like, I know they're gonna be great in Doctor Who, but when he regenerated and he came as a Doctor, I was like, he blew any expectation I had out of the water. I physically felt, like spiritually felt the baton being passed when he appeared. Like David Tennant was no longer the Doctor. It was so good. It has to be Ncuti.
Yeah. I think that's everybody's answer at this point. And if not, you get bombastic side-eyed.
I will say a very close second. I think David Tennant and Matt Smith are very close seconds to me. Matt Smith, it took me a while to like warm up to him. Because I was just coming off like David Tennant. He was like, David Tennant did a very good angry Doctor, and guilt ridden Doctor. Mm-hmm. But Matt Smith felt very goofy from the beginning, and I was like, this feels weird.
I don't like David Tennant.
Really? And I'm so curious. Why?
Because he went out like a punk, first off.
Okay, wait a second.
No,
wait a second. No. Okay, hold on a second. I need you. Okay, I'm gonna be like, let me hear Noah out. This guy, he's dying. He's dying.
Yeah, and you saw how Matt Smith took it like a goddamn G. I will always.
Matt Smith took it like a G because he lived. He took it like a G because he got to live for hundreds of years as Matt Smith.
Hey,
like he had his
real
time.
Real gangster shit.
I'm fighting Noah right now. This is not what I thought was gonna start the fight. I'm fighting Noah right now.
Tennant got taken out by Wilfred. That's a real big shit, my guy.
I need to know I need to ask who your favorite Doctor is now.
Oh, Tennant.
I need to know.
Tennant. All day.
That's fair. I think if you say Tennant or Ncuti are like the ones I accept.
Yeah,
I accept those.
Listen, I want to see more of Ncuti. That's like, and I think that Ncuti will be a very close second, if not replace Tennant as first. Like just from the special and from like the Christmas special and from the and from the end of David Tennant's final run, because they keep bringing him back.
That's another reason I like him. Like
I think I will say that I don't think that's David Tennant's fault.
No.
David Tennant was like, bring me back.
I'm just saying that version of the Doctor ruined Judy's moment.
I think, yeah. I think I do. I think I'm going to go into this because I do have feelings about this. Because in this, I do agree. And I have actually a lot of thoughts and feelings about this subject
I
specifically.
think that just added to my bitterness. I already didn't like
yeah.
the 10th Doctor, and now what other Doctor gets a redo? What other Doctor gets to go, I fucked up my run, so I'm gonna step in to the new Doctor's premiere and fix my shit.
Yeah. I think it should have been like, I think my biggest problem with that was I guess everyone who's listening, there's gonna be spoilers for Doctor Who. But my problem was by generation. I think like if David Tennant left and Ncuti would replace David Tennant, I'd have liked that better. It felt really weird sharing a scene with, like, it was fun. Like, I think the chemistry was incredible, but just weird having your first appearance as the Doctor shared with the previous Doctor literally in the same room rather than like a switch or changeover. It was weird.
Yeah.
I do think he was in my opinion, was kind of undermined that he was in his underwear the entire time.
I hated that. Like, what? Matt Smith was my number one until Ncuti. And one of the things I loved about Matt Smith's introduction as the Doctor was like, I think it was one of the few times we got to see the Doctor pick his swag in the show. And I thought we were
it on,
right. Like, and I thought we were gonna get that moment with Ncuti, which I thought was gonna be sick. But they just had. Here are the things I didn't like about Ncuti premiere, which have nothing to do with the actor. It's all about the writer's choices. One, they left my man in his underwear the whole time. Yep. Two, he had to share his premiere with the most popular Doctor of the franchise. And
I agree with that.
Three, his first win wasn't based on intelligence. It was a physical activity, which kind of falls into some racist shit, in my opinion. Every other Doctor's premiere has been, I'm going to I just got born and I'm out thinking the alien.
Yeah.
Ncuti sported his enemy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. It was I'm waiting for like, because I think Ncuti as an actor is incredible. Ncuti playing the Doctor is incredible. I do think some of the episode he premiered in was lacking because of those three things. Like, I fully agree with that. I think that's my biggest gripe with a lot of things, actually. Like, Marvel does this as well, of like putting a really popular white guy just before the person of color is meant to be taking that mantle. Like, they did that with, in my opinion, Spider-Man. They made Spider-Man into like Iron Man Jr. when that was meant to be like the role Ironheart later takes on. And then they took that away, and then now they're setting up Ironheart for that, and it gives bigots too much ammo. Like, obviously bigots are gonna say stuff regardless. They're gonna say shit regardless, but giving them physical ammo, being like, yeah, Peter Parker was better or David Tennant was better, giving them physical, like, just giving them, presenting ammo like that is the worst thing you can do for a person of color taking on a popular mantle role. And like the Christmas special was fun. I loved it. But it wasn't a Doctor Who episode. Like, I want I'm excited to see Ncuti in a Doctor Who episode, not like a Christmas special, because I feel like Christmas specials for everything, every single franchise is like its own thing. Like, that's a different flavor compared to what the rest of the series would be.
Like, if I can add to that, I think the dagger in the heart for me was Tennant Doctor also having a TARDIS. Like, to me, the TARDIS is it's like giving Robin a Batmobile. Like, no, Robin can have his own thing, but the Batmobile is it's Batman, and like it's almost like the writers are just like, we don't trust him to carry the show, so we're gonna keep this in our back pocket. And the whole point of Doctor Who to me is that this ultra smart guy doesn't have anybody that can save him except his companions.
Yeah.
If Ncuti gets fucked, there's no reason the writers can't say, and Tenet saves the day. And
Yeah.
then at that point, who is the Doctor? If the
Yeah.
entire point of having Tenet back is that he has to stay still, he shouldn't have a TARDIS.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. It was. I'll be honest, I don't know what they were thinking. I'll be honest. Like, I love the episode. I love the actors. And I'll be honest, even like David Tennant coming back, I wasn't mad at. It was a bi-generation. And I do agree, giving him a TARDIS as well was
Yeah.
just like the final nail in the, like, not nail in the coffin. 'Cause I'm still going to watch it. I'm still going to love it.
Yeah,
But it was
absolutely.
like that an extra dagger in the heart, like he described it.
Honestly, you know what I would have preferred? You know, if there has to be 2 TARDISes, I don't think that the other TARDIS should belong to David Tennant. I believe that the other TARDIS should belong to Donna's daughter. I think that would have been
Oh.
much more interesting.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Because now the Doctor is still the Doctor because she has to learn how to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Tennant's Doctor already knows how. So we would get an adventure where a new half-time Lord has to learn how to use her TARDIS. And the experienced Doctor is going off doing his shit. I just think that would have been a safer and more respectful way to go about it. But BBC, you're cowards. Come fight me.
No, yeah, I do agree. I do think there's so much stuff they could have like improved there. Like I honestly, I just don't get by generation. I don't understand it. So
It's Russell T Davies
so after
rehashing
every
the same
episode is
plot
a
from Parting of the Ways.
yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You remember the episode where we lost Donna, where David Tennant regenerates
when we
into
lost
his
Donna,
own hand
Oh.
and splits into 2,
Yeah.
so that
Yeah,
Rose
they're just doing the same.
gets her own version of the Doctor.
There are 3 Tennants around.
There are 3 Tennants.
No, there are
One
two.
of them
Is it an
there,
alternate
there are
universe?
2 tenants, one is another universe.
One is in another
Yeah.
universe and is.
But to
is
be honest,
human.
now, yeah,
It's
it
more
is
human
fully
than Doctor.
human. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of if I could rewrite the episodes, one, I wouldn't make it end with a game of catch. I think that was honestly kind of boring, especially with working with someone like the toy maker. You could have made it so much more wild, especially beforehand. Like the whole like maze that they're running through was wild, and then for it to all of that to culminate to a game of catch, kind of was anticlimactic in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Like, I get the setup where
Very.
it's
So,
like
like,
the first
yeah.
the first game was catch played with the rock,
Yeah,
and then the payoff. You could have rewritten that a little bit though to make it something else.
yeah. I don't know.
The first
It was
game
a fun
telling
episode.
stories
I won't
around a
lie.
table.
That'd be interesting,
taking turns
honestly.
telling stories like around a table.
Like Sandman. Like I would have
Yeah.
loved that. That would
That'd
have
have been
been
really cool.
oh, because then it's like, you know, are you better at games than I'm experienced at life? Like
Yeah,
kind of playing into all of the adventures that the Doctor had is the new Doctor seeing the older Doctor tell the stories of his adventure. That would have been a
that'd have been so good. Damn,
I fixed
BBC,
it for
get
you,
us
BBC.
in on
Hire
this.
me.
Get us in this. Because like it would have been so much more fun. Because like, so the history on the toy maker, I haven't watched it. It's very racist. Just a heads up.
Oh yeah.
The original
Wait.
toy maker,
It really is.
so racist. Yeah, it was very Orientalist. Like
Yeah.
white man
Oh.
just like an yeah.
Yeah,
So they
there
tried to
was-
bring it back, but
Have to
scrub
use the other
that.
place.
yeah. It wasn't
No!
great. So I understand them bringing it back because like it's an old favorite, but also trying to give it a better, less offensive cover of paint. But they could have made it much more. Because at the end of the day, the toy makers are gods. Like he's an equivalent. He's the closest you're gonna get to a god in like the Doctor Who universe. They could have gone wild with it, like you said, like the Sandman. They could have had their like storytelling fight in that realm, of that maze, and like told stories and made them manifest and like fight each other. Because then one, that's still really cool to watch, and two, no one's actually dying, so it's still like to the Doctor's like motto, not harming or killing.
Yeah.
And
Marty-
wasn't this like an anniversary? Wasn't this like an anniversary episode or something too?
Yeah, I
60th.
think was it. I think all 3 episodes was the like 6 year celebration to 6th anniversary.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like that's one of the things that I was also a little disappointed by, because it's just like the last anniversary special I remember was like Day of the Doctor, where it
50th.
had like
That was
all of the
so
doctors.
good.
And I'm like, if we're talking about the climax that we're going for, having each doctor tell their story, or
Yeah,
like,
or at
oh,
least
that
some
would
of
have
them.
been
Yeah.
sick. Oh,
And it would have been so much better if David Tennant hadn't regenerated yet. David Tennant tells his story, and then Ncuti comes up afterwards. Like before regeneration even happens, Ncuti comes up after. Then David Tennant's Doctor's like, wait, where did you come from? Am I like? He's like, oh, I'm going to die now that he sees this next version of him. It would have, I don't know.
I know they're having
BBC, hire us.
Yeah.
Follow me on Twitter. Check my email is there.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so much that could have happened, but we you can tell we're all Whovians because we found this topic and stuck to it. But there are some questions that
Yeah.
we have since we have had that we've added since the last time you were on, and I'm just gonna jump straight to the one that I can't remember if I asked you, so we're gonna ask it again, which is: there is a silent war in the TTRPG community between people who hold on. Oh no, my camera froze. 1 second.
It's looking good on my end. So that's strange.
There we go. That should fix it. But there's a silent war between those of us who see these as storytelling devices. You roll them, you see the number, and then you move on. Then there are others of us, or others who exist, who think that these are the forbidden candies and you should put them in your mouth and crunch. I have to ask you, Jax. You feel the fear and the unbridled rage just waiting to come out, depending on what you say. What side of this war are you on? Are you on team Dice Saviors, or are you on team Crotch Crew?
Well, Noah, that's a very interesting question. You see, I'll give you a little bit of context real quick first.
I don't like where this is going, but okay.
I'm not to like list my credits, but this is relevant, I promise. I'm producing a Over the Garden Wall inspired action play called Beyond the Brook, and Die Hard Dice is actually sponsoring it and producing dice specifically for the campaign.
I saw.
Yeah. So we got Beyond the Brook dice and Over the Garden Wall inspired dice, and with that in mind, it has to be Crunch Crew. Bite into those dice, chip them a little bit, buy more dice.
You want people to crunch, so they break the dice and have to keep buying them with your affiliate code, which is what again?
It's Brook, Brook. You get, I believe it's 10% off on anything you use that code for, or you can just check out our Beyond the Brook range on Die Hard Dice, and we also get a cut of that. So you'll be funding a very cool actual play, getting cool dice.
Yeah. Now that I helped you fill your pockets, fuck you, dude. This is Abria's answer all over again. This is some capitalist shit.
Hey, we live in a capitalist world. We have to play by the rules to survive.
You're supposed to be better than that. You would have chosen. Wow.
This isn't capitalism, it's hustle culture, baby.
Exactly.
Eat them dice so they crack and you have to buy more. Wow. I'm so disappointed. I don't know why I'm disappointed, because that's the villain answer. And you are a villain. This y'all king. This who y'all support.
Hey,
Kickbacks from
sometimes
Big
you got to
Dental.
side with the villain. Sometimes the villain has a point. Big Dental. Damn, I should have got dental. Yeah, go to your dentist. Discount code Brooke for 10% off your next dentist appointment.
Get yourself got the brick themed teeth cleaning. What? We gonna monetize from all of it.
Exactly.
Oh my god, I'm so. Okay, so there are two people. There's you and Abria. Y'all are the fucking. What do you even call this? This the war profiteering?
Yeah, I guess so. That's the closest
This
to
is
it.
the
Yeah.
crunch weaponizer,
Crunch
crunch enabler.
profiteers.
God
Yeah.
damn. I gotta give
Like,
you the
I'm not
punishment.
gonna buy any dice. I don't put dice in my mouth. But you can, and honestly, I encourage it.
I never use my own supply, baby.
Exactly.
You gotta be a fool to do drugs. I only deal them. I gotta give you the punishment question now.
Okay.
Here we go. You get to play any TTRPG with any 5 people that are alive right now. You don't count towards the 5. You get to choose what system and who's the motherfucker. This is an AP producer I'm talking to. God damn, this is not a
I thought about
punishment
this
for
a
you
lot.
at all. This is what you do. Shit. Okay, but that's the question.
Yeah. Brennan Lee Mulligan as GM. I want to play Brennan again. It's been a long time, but I haven't had him as a GM before. I've been a fellow player with him. He was so incredible to play with.
Yeah.
So definitely Brennan as GM. I'd want my closest friend Stella Luna as one of the players.
We stand one
Um,
whole Stella here in this house.
Yeah. So that's Brennan, Stella, Bria for sure. If Brennan's there, Bria, I need the Bria and Brennan, the way they bounce off each other. Lou Wilson as well
Yeah.
has to be there.
Mhm.
Okay, this is a tough one. This last one's tough
Yeah.
because
You about,
a lot of
you
them
about to end a lot of friendships right now.
Because it's between like 4 other people.
This is why it's the punishment question.
Yeah.
Choose which of your friends you leave behind.
I think it's gonna be
so far though.
I think it's gonna be Humna. Another friend of mine, Humna. And I think the system I want them Brennan to GM, because I actually don't know for sure if Brennan even is into anime, but I'd want Brennan to GM Fabula Ultima.
Yeah, I was just thinking
Yeah.
that would be
Like,
oh
and
my god.
If he's not into it, I'd want a Bria to GM it and GM Fabula Ultima.
Can you
And I know
imagine?
Bria's into it.
Can you imagine the character Lou would make in that system?
It would be so good. Like, I would love to bounce off of just everyone in that cast. Would be so much fun to play with, especially in that kind of game. Yes, I think that's my table.
That's a good table.
It's a great table.
That's a solid table. Which moves us to our next question. You are the God Emperor of the TTRPG scene. You snap your fingers, and any 3 things, no matter how big or small, happen. What changes do you make to the TTRPG space?
Oh, that's actually tough. 'Cause, like, the obvious one is like not get rid of Wizards of the Coast, not get rid of D&D, but like just diminish it. Like, share that like power, that control over the space, because it does have a lot of it. But I know that people give the answer already, so I want to give like a different one.
Okay. I love that this question now has a reputation.
I would want more non-TTRPG like companies and brands to invest in the TTRPG space. I'd want it to be easier to get sponsors from people. Like, I want to get like a TTRPG sponsored by fucking Marvel or like an actual play sponsored by Marvel. I want to get an actual sponsor. Like I want like fucking A24 paying people to like do a TTRPG actual play.
An
Like I want
A24
people
sponsored
outside of the
AP?
space to take it seriously. Yeah. Like I want other because like you said, I'm a producer, so I've been doing a lot of outreach, and it's a lot easier to get people within the space, like dice companies, supplements, like publishers, stuff like that, to sponsor you. It's a lot harder for anyone outside of that space to even reply, let alone sponsor you.
Man, you
So
need to
I think
teach
that's what
a
I've changed.
class. Sponsor outreach is the one thing everybody is struggling at.
Yeah, it is rough. It is rough. I did a panel for it in Big Bad Con with Stella and Hamna.
God damn it!
Yeah.
Not being able to make it to that con bites me in the ass again.
I will say, we've announced it, so it's okay. Me, Hamna, and Stella are going to be making a web series that walks through sponsorship outreach and all of the like stuff we've learned. Like, obviously not directly teaching because we kind of learned it through trial and error, but at least given our experience and what we kind of figured out was the do's and don'ts.
Oh,
So anyone who couldn't make it to Big Bad can check it out. So that is a thing we're working on because we do want to make that easier to access.
going back to the question though, like,
Yeah.
let's say you got A24's attention, like, how would you like? What would A24 get out of it? Like, how would you pitch that?
I think with A24, it has to be, especially with what the kind of shows they create, it'll just have to be how experimental and probably even surrealism. I lean into the surrealism of whatever actual play I'm doing. So I probably do something like something with a similar vibe to like Tales from the Loop, of like really strange and eerie. So I think A24 is really well known for their kind of like very experimental high arts productions. So I think that will fit with their already like the kind of brand they have already. And they'll be interested in like partnering with that. And I think it'd be cool if we could make it like either it's a one shot and it's like a movie so they can play it like in theaters and stuff, or it's like a web series that draws them to it. Because I don't know if A24 has like a web series or streaming service. I don't know. I need to look into that. But if they have some kind of equivalent to that.
Yeah. I've always been wondering, like, actual plays have gotten extraordinarily popular, and there are a lot of properties that seem to focus highly on world building. So I just always thought it would be cool for, like, let's take The Creator, this sci-fi movie that recently came out that was like about AIs and stuff. I would love to see them do an actual play in that world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a lot easier to sell.
Yeah, like, yo, we will tell the story of something that's happening in your world away from the movie, but it gets people
talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's always the easiest way, not to get to like producer brain, but whenever you are reaching out to sponsors, that is often the easiest way to get them to say yes, to have it directly linked to their product. There are very few cases where they're like, just use our product and that will pay to use it on stream. But if you're able to be like, hey, like you said, A24, you'd be like, hey, we're going to play a game in your world. Do you want to sponsor us? That's way easier to do. A24 probably won't reply, unfortunately, which is why I want to make this change. But with other closer to TTRPG spaces, they might. But yeah, I think that'd be the change I'd want in a TTRPG space.
How the fuck has TTRPG not got G Fuel yet?
It's, I mean, you probably could. I honestly imagine the reason why I feel like it's not because G4 hasn't tried. I think it's truly because the TTRPG space is like, no, thank you. I feel like the majority of the TTRPG space are like, I'm good.
We're all sharing the same $20, and G feels like I'll put another 20 in. And we're like, nah, man, that's all right.
Nah, you could keep that.
I'm not gonna drink your poison Kool-Aid. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting. You got two more wishes.
Oh, 2 more wishes. I didn't even realize there was 3. Okay. Other wish. God, that's honestly a big one. I think that'll change the landscape a lot as like a repercussion, a ripple effect.
Yeah.
But if I wanted to like make sure something changed after that, I think this is tough. okay, this is a small. I think this is again coming from producer brain. So this is not even like TeachRP space specifically, just in general. So I've been doing a lot of editing for Beyond the Brick. I edit it and do the captions for it. And captions is, I'll be entirely honest with you, I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy to manually put in captions for a upwards of 3 hour series or episode. I would not like. I have a program that like auto captions, and I just go through it and editing like anything that it gets wrong. But even that is so time consuming. So I think my other thing I'd wish for is cheap, efficient, and accurate accessibility like tools to use in TeachRPG's actual play specifically. So like accurate and actually used for captioners, for example. Or like honestly, the thing that we should be using AI for as well. This is getting me into that. I think we should be using AI for is automatically adding alt text to pictures. That's what AI should be used for. So like, I think that's another thing. So like our tools, cheap tools for accessibility in TeachRPGs, the TeachRPG space.
I was just thinking I would love for AI to be utilized to automate ASL as well.
Yes. Did you see someone actually I saw this on a tweet, like a young girl, I think that had to be like 16, 17 years old, is programming an AI that does like if you do sign language in front of a screen, it'll translate what it is and tell you what it means. Like,
oh,
like focus on the
wow.
hand and tell you, yeah. If I can find a tweet, I'll send it to you. It's really, really impressive. Like there are people doing it, but the companies with the money aren't doing it. Which
Of course.
pisses me off.
And then of course they'll buy it out and put it behind a paywall.
Exactly. They'll buy it out and give like morsels to whoever created it, and then earn so much money from putting it behind a paywall. It's so frustrating. But yeah, I think
capitalism, baby.
Ruins the party again.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be my second wish. My third wish. Damn.
Just speared through my punishment question, but the fun question that I give as like
this is a tough one.
A boon to everybody. That's the one that's giving you up for troubles right now. I love it.
So this was like ridiculous. Like it doesn't have to even make sense of laws of physics, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
God Emperor. Go for
my other wish would be to have a studio for actual plays that has a teleporter in it, so I can teleport people here or I can teleport there, wherever I set up the studio, so I can just have people in person no matter where they are from and have games done in person. That's my third wish.
We've built teleportation technology and we're using it for actual plays, baby. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, let's do it. That's where it should be going to everyone.
No, but that would be incredible. Go ahead.
I'd tag on to that they're the Star Trek style teleporters that also do the biofiltering, so that you make sure that everybody you got your health and safety coordinated at the same time as you have you bring your people in, you clear them of any illnesses. All right, they're good to go.
Yes, no, absolutely. That'd be perfect. That's my third wish. That's my world altering wish.
You got the code. You better hope you can cast it. They can fix that in a jiffy, but not if you come in late. I think your addition just made this dystopian.
It kind of does, yeah.
It's the best healthcare in the world, but you gotta get casted.
You have to be cast in the actual play to get
it. This is like the Hunger Games on crack.
I put out a casting call and all I get are people. It's like, I need healthcare too expensive, please.
Please.
I'll be a guest. Just let me in, please.
I can do a Scottish accent as a dwarf, please.
Damn, that's actually true. I didn't think about that. That is actually.
That's true. I monkey spot that wish, didn't I?
I'm sorry, you took that mad dystopia.
Because either it'll be impossible to get everyone through it, or it's gonna be like people gonna try and rob that place and try and take the
Mama,
like
is
try and take
Papa,
the teleport.
is Papa gonna get better? Only if Papa learns how to play Battlefield.
Only if he puts together a kick-ass real like demo reel. We don't know. We don't know.
Or Shadi, there's an unknown person teleport again. Oh, look, it's that guy. Delete buffer.
No.
Like midway through the teleport, we find some old tweets that didn't age well.
We're like, oh, there's a rewind that one.
Send his ass back with more elements.
All the elements that we cleared up since then, we give it to him to send them back. Like,
Return
we need
the
to put it
sender.
somewhere. Here you go.
He was like, "Why my ankle hurt? There was something wrong with my ankle." Well, maybe next time you'll learn to talk about minorities better on Twitter.
Scans your internet history. Didn't
Hey, what if you like?
don't
I want
know.
to fucking play a one shot in this world.
That'd be rough. I think I'd immediately become the bad guy. Like having that kind of technology, I would be the bad guy for not making it widespread.
Imagine
Here,
it
now we
being an
pitch this to
airship so
A24.
everybody can see.
Yeah,
It's
we
high
could
art.
this
We
to
can pitch
A24.
this
This
to
is the show.
Holy shit, that's hilarious. Okay. So our next question that we have added, which is, what do you feel is your signature move as a player? Like, what do you bring to the table as a player that you feel you feel you do better than most folks? You know,
Yeah.
this is my thing.
So it's a thing that I didn't realize I did until a friend of ours, I don't know why I said a friend of mine, Caitlin pointed this out to me.
Oh yeah.
Because I was in a game with Caitlin called The Cases of Costa Vega, and it was like it was a 2-player. We had Rick as a GM, 2-player TTRPG series where we played step siblings, who were like detectives, so very much like Psych, like people who just are not qualified to do detective work but are doing detective work anyway. And it was a lot of fun. And one of the things I noticed, Kaylee noticed I did a lot was set up like payoffs for things that seemed very small. And Caitlin called it Dracov's gun, because what I'd often do is I'd like say I pick up, like, I think one of the episodes was probably one of my favorite. My character was like, if you watch Psych, my character is very Sean like pilled. He was very much like the goofy guy that is like doesn't have a job, so unserious, it's sometimes annoying. And our characters got hired to investigate something that was happening in like the Ren Fair. And my character bought a full suit of armor, like a helmet and everything. I took on disadvantages on every roll that had perception checks because I just thought it was very funny. So I took on the disadvantage for that. And later on, the person we were chasing after ran away. And I was like, hey, Rick, can I take my helmet off and just throw it at their head and knock them out? And I rolled and it worked. And I did that like multiple times with different things I brought into play early on with no plans. And Caitlin called it Jacob's gun. So I think that's my like strong suit of like doing something very in character, like very small and in character, and then ending up paying off huge in the end.
That's some real Scooby-Doo energy, and I love it. Can you think of an example outside of that particular game?
Yeah. So another one was so I was in a I think it's called D20 Deathmatch. Highly recommend. Follow them on Twitter.
Yeah.
On
Oh,
Twitch
and
as well.
shout out to that team too. I can't remember the host, but she was in a game with Nappy Boy Gaming.
Becca.
Yeah, Becca got to play
Becca.
with T-Pain. I'll
T-Pain,
forever be jealous of Becca.
No, Becca's incredible. I want to play like as players with Becca. I had them as like obviously like the grandmaster in D20 Deathmatch. But in that game, I had my character. Our characters got dropped into like the arena, and they had like, I think it was like bipedal pigs serving hot dogs to us on silver platters. and my character was like took one of the platters because he was very timid. He was like, "Oh, let me help out. Let me help you serve these to people." So he took the platter, like served the hot dogs to everyone, and still kind of kept the silver platter. And later on in the game, I cast animate object on the platter and used that to fight my opponent. Um, and ended up winning through that. And also marbles. For anyone who's listening, if you're a wizard with animate objects, have ball bearings or caltrops, throw them on the ground and animate 10 of them. You have literally 990 more left after that, so you can just keep doing it. Very useful. But yeah, so
You
that's
are
where
an
another example I did
asshole.
it.
Oh man, that's brilliant.
Yeah. So I just have a tendency to it's just for I don't really know why. Like I never actively I'm like, oh, I want to do this one thing and then later on find a way to use it. It's just kind of like, oh, I'm in a tight spot. What can I do? Oh, I have this thing and I use it and it ends up being something I set up earlier on.
Oh, I no, I like that. That's I think a unstated benefit of that is like you're really showing the GM that you're paying attention to the world because you're taking something that's not like that doesn't have a spotlight on it and you're giving it importance, which is really
Yeah.
oh that
It's a lot of fun. And now that Kaden pointed it out, I always notice when I've done it, I'm like, I did it again.
you know what you trying to break out of the habit.
I'm not trying to break out of a habit, but like it's the point where I've become very self-aware of it now. So I'm like, when I do, I'm like, oh, okay, I just did that thing.
I'm Draxing again, shit. Nina, you got any questions?
Sorry, my brain went blank for a second. Where are we? What are we doing?
You're good.
No, I just asked the signature
Yes.
move question, and I was asking if you had any questions to ask.
My question is actually I've got a question from our Patreon. Sphinx would like to know.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
right.
Sphinx would like to know, why are you so awesome?
It's the company I keep. Honestly, I learn from them.
There you
Okay,
go.
we see that humbleness. I do have another question, which is, if you had an angel investor that was just like, I will give you all the money, and you're certain that it's not coming from a nefarious place, what would your dream project be?
Oh. Okay. So I think this is one I've had in my like I've been thinking about wanting to do for a very long time now. And I have like different variations of it.
Mhm.
But I think I'd really want to do a so I have right behind me a game. It's called Fight with Spirit. Highly recommend. I don't know if it's flipped on camera, but it's called
Oh.
Fight with Spirit. It's like a mixture of a TTRPG and
Battle Royale?
board game kind of game.
Oh.
No, it's so it's called Fight with Spirit, but it's actually a sports anime TTRPG. Made by the same people, but Story Brewers, the same people who made Good Society.
Oh,
They
nice.
made this game.
Oh.
Yeah. And like ever since, and I got to playtest it, so I got to see it as it was being built and created, and then they sent me a copy. And it was a lot of fun. It was really a lot of fun to play. I would want to make an actual play. I would want to produce a TTRPG like sports anime actual play using that, and have like, and I want to have like teams. I want to have like
Yeah.
I want to have like I have one arc with one team, another arc of a different team with a different cast, another arc of a different team with a different cast, and like have it culminate to like some kind of tournament, so I can like really play that out. And if we have like infinite money, I think I would definitely want to have like animators to animate some bits of it. Either if it's just for promotion or for the actual play itself, I think I want to have some animators and obviously compose music for it as well. Because I think, especially with anime, music is a very big thing, especially with sports anime specifically. Music is a very big thing to like keep the mood hyped. Because as cool as it is to watch like sports anime, there's also like Dragon Ball Z. So you have to make it interesting in comparison to that, even though you're just playing volleyball or football. But yeah, so I think that would be like the project I'd want to do, like a probably even a long-term one. Like I think I want to do it like continuous. Like there'll be different seasons, but I think I want it to be a continuous thing where I keep bringing on different players. Because I think it'd be a cool way to highlight new players as well, having it be like focus on different teams each time.
I love that idea. I love that idea. I wanted to do something similar with like a wrestling RPG.
Yeah,
Like in what I love about yours is just like full teams, like the drama of like, okay, they beat us last time. Can we pull it out this
yeah.
time? Like oh, that would be so good. That would
And
be
I think
that would be a monster to organize. But
oh,
that would be
absolutely.
so good.
Yeah, I think because I think it'd be really good as well because like it's very easy to play because I think it also humanizes the opponents because if you only follow one team and then the GM plays the opposing team, it's very easy for you to be like, I hope the protagonists win. But if you're seeing every single team, there is no protagonist. They're all protagonists. So like you can actually root for different teams and still be like in the right, I guess. Because there is no villain. There's no one that you shouldn't be rooting for, unless there's a team that
Yeah.
wants to play like a villainous team. That's fine. But it's still seeing their side of the story, and still kind of humanizes them, seeing them being played by people more than
Yeah.
just the GM. But yeah, so I think that'd be the big project.
Oh, yeah. Somebody make this happen. Like, and the thing is, they don't have to animate everything. Just
Yeah, no.
key moments.
Yeah, I
Like-
don't even want like key moments like big like important goals or baskets, whatever sport. Because this is really good because you can play pretty much any sport with it. Like the sport is just flavor. The mechanics itself can work with any sport. It's like whatever it is, I'd only like do like really important saves or really important goals. Or it does a really good thing where they incentivize like cutscenes of like between games of like what you do when you're not playing. And I like animating some of those would be fun as well.
Mm.
Do they
Yeah.
have any kind of, because I don't watch a lot of sports anime, but my sibling got me to watch a couple episodes of like this volleyball
Haikyuu.
one.
Haiku. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Jesus
Haiku
Christ.
is Haiku. I was like, I'm not into sports anime. I'm not gonna like sports anime. I watched Haiku and that changed everything.
So like I watched a couple of episodes of that, and then there's this boxing one, and the boxing one is the one that
I need to
really
watch the
like
boxing one.
it really got me. And like
Yeah.
like in the middle of the fight, like they'll show a technique that they use, and like you'll get the flashback of how they learned that technique.
Learned it, yeah.
Is there something like that in this system? Because that
Yeah.
would be cool.
They fully lean into like part of the system is creating an anime opening. So you describe what happens in the anime opening. You gotta go through each player and describe what their scene in the anime opening is. Like they hit every single note of a sports anime. There's definitely like flashbacks. There's like I said, in between matches, there's stuff like that. I need to see how much they've added since I last play tested it. So because this is still in its pack, I haven't got to play the official like finished version. But in the
Okay.
playtest version, it was still very fleshed out. And honestly, probably one of my favorite experiences playing a TTRPG.
Well, they need to
Um,
put cash in your pockets because you got me wanting to play this.
I highly recommend it. Truly, I highly recommend it. It was one of the things I really wanted to do. And honestly, this kind of feeds into this project. Is I think at the very least for the first season of this, I want to reach out to TTRPG players who also do or did sports, team sports. Because I was actually
Mm.
talking to Bria about this. I think last year. We were talking about how it'd be really cool if we got like a bunch of people who used to play sports or still play sports to play sports TTRPG. So yeah, I think that at the very least that's what I'll do with the first season. I know the Venn diagram intersections probably gonna be pretty small, so I don't think it'll last much more than first season. But yeah,
See, if it's theater kids in TTRPG,
Yeah, it's
it's a
perfect.
circle. If it's jobs in TTRPG, you might have a sliver. But I know I
Yeah.
would love to see that. Yeah, I I I got the vibes from Ricky that she plays sports. It's so tough.
yeah.
Look,
I think she used to play basketball. Was her specifically, if I remember correctly.
I would be surprised. Like, just She's so tall.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I think the only thing I played competitively was rugby and football. I guess you call it soccer. I used to do track and field as well.
You call it.
You call it soccer. Um, Honestly, I say that, but honestly, a very interesting fact that I learned a while ago is that it was originally called soccer, and we changed it to football over here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I can't even pretend to. I can't even pretend to be proud of this country.
It was association football, and it was shortened to the assoc was shortened to soccer, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think that'd be the project. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I've thought about it for a very long time, but I haven't. It's one of the projects that would, because I've been lucky enough to do a lot of projects and get money backing it, but that's one of the projects that's like a lot of money to do.
Yeah.
So like, if I do, it's going to be way smaller scale or just an entirely different idea altogether.
Well, no, that would be. In terms of like, I think I've only asked this of a few people of like if they got the angel investor, but I think that's a project that would do the best.
Yeah.
I don't really think we've seen anything like that. That's like a hybrid of, the mixture of animation, of actual play. Of course, it would have to be recorded, but
Yeah.
still,
Yeah.
like it's still that whole you don't know what's gonna happen until the dice rolls kind of deal.
Yeah.
I love that. That would be so fucking cool.
We'll see. Hopefully.
I hate that you don't have the money for this right now.
Hey, if anyone's watching who has the money for that kind of thing, hit me up. My email is draconics@gmail.com.
Make this fucking happen. I want to be on the bully team. Like, I want to be on the team that's clearly coded as like the inner city gangsters. they play volleyball without respect.
I love that. And another one I think I want to do with that, I think, and it'll depend, because I think there's still a lot of fun in just playing, like having it be volleyball normal. But I think I want to do is like have that be like obviously still be volleyball or whatever sport it is, but add a level of like fantasy to it. Like one of my like, and not even like not extreme, but like low level fantasy. And I say that in the time of like, you probably haven't watched this, but there's an anime called Kuroko no Basket. Kuroko's basketball. Kuroko no Basket in Japanese. And it's borderline magic. It's truly like at the beginning, they try to explain all of these ridiculous things people can do with like common sense of like one character, Kuroko, his name is Kuroko, he's the main character. His whole thing is that he's so unnoticeable that people on the court don't notice him, and his team use that to their advantage. And there's like, and basically borderline invisible to people. And then later on, in like season 2, he starts doing shit like making it seem like he shot the ball and people seeing an illusion of the ball go over their heads, and then he shoots it again afterwards. And they try to describe that as he just feints and pretends to shoot, and people fill in the gaps themselves. Like at some point it becomes so ridiculous that it's like, this is just magic, so just admit it's magic. It's fine. It doesn't make it any less.
These motherfuckers play jutsus in basketball.
There's another character. So there's so the whole thing is called, there's a team called the Generation of Miracles, and they're like, I think they're 8 people who I think they're like high schoolers at the time, who were so incredible at basketball that they gave them the name the Generation of Miracles. Like no one has ever beaten them. So and they all have like their own skill set that is borderline magic. And there's one character his thing is called copy, and he can do, after watching a player play for like 2 or 3 minutes, he can mimic their play style exactly to the T. Like they can, like, even things that their body physically can't do, they can do it, but there's a drawback of like their body gets damaged to do something like that only a bodybuilder can do, for example, like that kind of stuff. Like it's borderline magic. So like I would think I would have put that kind of stuff in the game as well, or like people having like small but interesting abilities and powers that only work on the court. Because like outside of the court, these people are normal fucking people. And on the court, on the court, they are insane.
On the court, I'm Kakashi.
No, truly, because there's a character his power is called Emperor's Eye, and Emperor's Eye. I'm not kidding. You need to look into it. I think you'll enjoy it purely to make fun of it. I enjoyed it because I actually think it was a fun anime, but you will enjoy it because you can make fun of it because it's so ridiculous.
I think
But
I'm
Emperor's Eye, Emperor's Eye lets them see the court 360 without having to turn their head. Like they can see everything on the court, and they're the captains. They know who to pass to. They see how the full view. It's truly, literally, it's so bad, but so good at the same time.
Somebody got real high. It was like, what if we put the kids from Naruto on the basketball? And you know what? I appreciate it. I want to watch this.
Do it. It's so good. It's generally like obviously I make fun of it, but it's generally such a fun
Emperor's
watch.
Eye is red. It's a Shuriken.
Yep. And like there's one like the same character's ability is like there's a whole thing where he has a split personality. You'll learn about that later. Do you understand what I mean? It's borderline magic. It's Naruto, but give them basketballs.
We're talking about basketball, right?
Yep.
This is
It's
gonna
so over the
change the
top.
way that I'm gonna watch this anime just so it can really fuck with how I watch NBA games.
It's truly so good. Like another one, there's another guy who's my favorite, and I think this is the power set I would have if I was like a player in this game. Of like, it's called. So there's one character called he has Copycat, and there's another one called he has an ability called Steal. And theirs is like a lot like Copycat. They can watch someone play and then mimic their moves, but they do it and make the person who they copied it from unable to do it ever again until the end of the game. And the way they try to explain it with common sense is that they mimic the move set of that person, but change the tempo a little bit. And then the person who they copied it from sees that new tempo and then is like, oh yeah, that's the tempo I do. And obviously isn't, so they can't match it and they fail it and they keep failing over and over again. So that's kind of like how they explain away the fact that they lost the ability to do, I don't know,
powers.
shoot a 3-pointer. Yeah, exactly. It's so dumb. It's so stupid.
I mean,
But
kudos
so much
to
fun.
this anime for having black folks in it too. Like I've just been kind of looking at
The black guy, obviously, I don't know if you want to. I guess it's probably kind of racist. The black guy, best person on the team, best person. He truly ends up being like initially the big bad because like obviously he's the one team facing off each player, so ends up being like one of the players that like we cannot beat him. He's gonna be if we go up against him, we're fucked. They become friends in the end, like all anime do. But yeah, while everyone's playing basketball, he's playing like street basketball. So like that's why. So like, yeah, that's kind of the vibe we're getting from this.
I didn't know how much I needed this in my life.
Watch it, you would love it. Watch it. Tell your sister as well. Because I feel like I don't know if your sister would watch it, but I think your sister would appreciate you watching sports anime.
So they have transitioned. So I have a non-binary sibling and
Your sibling.
a brother.
Oh hell yeah!
Hell yeah! Like it's so funny because like my little is on the sauce now. So like I'm trying to give dude lessons. Oh, but no, this anime. Oh my goodness!
You need to watch it. It's really good. There's another
black
thing.
dude pulls up with Analog.
It's like truly. I don't want to say too much because like I think you enjoy the watch and I don't want to spoil too much of it.
I love the ideas of somebody being like, no one has ever faced him and had their ankles intact.
No, truly, there's an. Okay, I'm sorry, I need to go into this again. So there's the guy, the Emperor's Eye. He's like his whole thing, is that he's a pretty abusive captain. Like he's like an awful captain, and even on the court, he's an awful person. And he calls it the Emperor's Eye because one, he can see everything, but he calls himself the Emperor because he breaks ankles so bad that it looks like he makes people kneel before them. So he's
That's
breaking
the
ankles and he just says
shit I've
kneel,
ever heard.
and they drop to their knees, and it's so good.
Okay, I know what I'm doing for the rest of the day. This interview might be cut short. I need to see this motherfucker make people bow.
It's so good. Like truly, when it happened, I was like, "Oh my god!" And it's not even like he just breaks them down. And of course, he even says "kneel" as he's doing it, and they drop to their knees every time.
Oh, fuck. I know we're supposed to be interviewing you.
Oh, yeah.
I can't think of anything else other than Anita, please save me.
Yeah, absolutely. Drag, you've dealt a little bit with game design and like creating narratives through different systems. If there was a property that you would like to adapt into a TTRPG, what would you do?
Oh. Okay.
What's your pie in the sky? Like,
That's
no,
tough.
money's no object. What are you adapting to a TTRPG?
To teach RPG.
Yeah.
I will say I think there are already a lot of TTRPGs out there that can work for most IP. But if I wanted one like built for IP specifically, like for like example, the Doctor Who one, I think. Cause I feel bad because I know actually a lot of friends are actually actively working on it, and this is not not me like hating on them. It's truly because I just want it now, so I'm very impatient. But I would really want a Jujutsu Kaisen TTRPG, like one like truly built around Jujutsu Kaisen.
That is
Like
the
it'd be a lot of
hottest
fun.
anime out right now, and I just
Yeah,
have not gotten around to watching it yet because it looks
it's
so
really good.
weird.
It's definitely like it's an animation style, especially the second season or third season. I don't know how many seasons we're on at this point. I think it's third season. The third season's a definitely different animation style. I think the first season's like the most traditionally animated, and then the second season is even better. But yeah, it's a really good anime. I think it's really built for TTRPG, especially if you like urban fantasy. Um, I think it's really well built for that. So yeah, I think it'll be Jujutsu Kaisen. And I can really think of different systems already that exist already that can be used for it. But yeah, again, if you want to make it like this thing, Jujutsu Kaisen for sure.
Yeah. That honestly, that anime confuses me in the sense that, like, from what I understand, it's about a bunch of sorcerers. But every time I see anything involving that anime, I'll see motherfuckers getting jumped. I'm not seeing no
Yeah.
magic, just
Oh,
hands.
you're missing the magic because there is definitely magic as people are getting jumped. That's what makes it so wild. Like people are doing true witchcraft as they're throwing hands.
Like,
Some people's throwing hands is their witchcraft. Like
to catch these magical like there's this one gif that I always see of like this, like
the
he's
blue
got
haired
scars
guy,
all over his head,
yeah,
like here,
and
and
then
then
just
just
jumping him.
beating his ass.
Jujutsu Kaisen. I think the thing Jujutsu Kaisen does that other anime don't is that they don't have this whole like let's be honorable thing. The heroes and the villains don't give a shit. They will jump you. Hero, villain, they will jump you and make sure you have no time to breathe.
Like, and we're not talking about Dragon Ball Z jumping where it's just like it's
This is behind
one crew
Ali.
standing, yeah, one crew standing around while they 1v1. I'm talking like they are world star stomping. Like,
It's so funny.
oh god, it's a lot. I that's another one that I have to watch just because everybody's talking. Like, I need to watch that and Demon Slayer apparently.
Demon Slayer, I enjoy the premise. I enjoy the premise of Demon Slayer a lot. I think the second season is incredible. Like the first season is okay. I think the first like 2 or 3 episodes are really slow in the first season. After that, it's incredible. But I would say if you wanted to go in order of greatness to least great, I think Jujutsu Kaisen and then Demon Slayer. But if you want to like amp up your expectations, like start with the least and then go to the greatest, I think Demon Slayer and then Jujutsu Kaisen.
So just to tell you where I'm at, like the only anime that I'm even like remotely caught up on is My Hero, because
Yeah.
like I fell in love with My Hero. That shit is just
Yeah.
cold. So
Yeah.
like I gotta catch up on My Hero. So then it looks like Jujutsu Kaisen, or I don't
Yeah.
know how to say it. And
We also
then
gotta get caught up with Spy Family.
listen, Oh, I love Spy Family.
I need to
so
watch.
goddamn
Yeah, I need to
It's
catch up with Spice
exciting.
Family.
Uh,
I think I've only watched. I'm partway through episode season 2.
but this basketball one, I'm letting you know right now, I'm putting that
That
ahead
needs
of
to be
Demon
first.
Slayer.
No,
I'm
100,
putting that
100.
ahead of Demon Slayer. I don't like the way Demon Slayer looks. It looks weird.
That's fair. No, that's absolutely fair. No, I think honestly, truly, Kuroko no Basketball before Demon Slayer. Even before,
Yeah.
I'll be honest, even before Jujutsu Kaisen. Even
Yo,
before Jujutsu
you
Kaisen.
better
was
watch
like-
your DMs, man.
It's a
I'm an
different story.
anime
It's
pleb.
just so fun.
I'm an anime pleb. I'm used to them talking shit about me. Like, protect yourself at all times. Okay, yeah. So I got my anime rankings for things that I'm gonna watch. I just need to see somebody get crossed over. Kneel. Like I'm gonna
It's
cry.
oh,
I'm gonna cry when I see that.
it's so good.
All right, so we've been at this for about an hour and 30 minutes. I'm gonna ask you 2 more questions before I let you go. For a break, of course.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back with the dark roast. And it's more the same. I just gave it a name. My 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 first question is: do you have anything on your TTRPG bucket list? Like, are there any moments that you would love to play through that you haven't had? Like, for example, I would love to jump off a dragon and have to figure out how to land safely. Like, that's just it just looks like a cool scene in my head. Like,
Yeah.
are there any like moments that you want to have at the table that you haven't had the chance for yet?
I have a couple. One, I will say, just to make you jealous, my first TTRPG campaign, I got to ride a dragon and jump off of it to slam down on the big bad. It was very cool.
I didn't tell you the rest of my desire, but that's exactly what it was. To jump off a dragon and smite something.
It was so good. It was so good because I remember I'll do a quick story. The dragon, it was a big huge fight. We had befriended the dragon earlier on in the campaign, and the dragon, me and the dragon fought alongside each other to fight this big bad, and then the big bad killed the dragon, and that's why I was falling. I was falling off the dragon as it shot it down. So I used that and slammed down the big bad and killed them. But we ended up finding out later on that the dragon left behind an egg. So I ended up raising the egg. So we had an epilogue where my character retired and was raising the dragonling later on.
I want that moment. I want to steal it from you. That's everything. Oh.
But I've had a lot of really cool moments because I like to build my characters around things like that. I realized I have a lot of moments in the sky falling. I've realized I have a lot of moments like that already.
I haven't had any, and that's all I want. I just want to fall out of the sky.
I think one moment I'd really love to play out. Or I guess, can I say a dynamic I really want to play out?
The bucket list is anything you
Awesome.
want.
So I've been watching another anime called Hell's Paradise. Highly recommend it. It's very, very cool, very surreal, beautiful animation and beautiful music. But the premise of it is, this is not spoiler, learning like the first episode. The premise of it is, I think it's set in feudal Japan, and like one of the like high royalties in Japan heard that there's an island that has the Fountain of Youth on it. But it's incredibly dangerous. Everyone who's gone there has either just never come back or returned heavily mutilated. I won't give too much detail because the type of mutilation is actually very interesting. But dead and mutilated. So what they did was they got prisoners on death row and were like, if you go to this island, and go like 30 prisoners on death row, I was like, if you go to this island and bring back the fountain of the water, like Fountain of Youth, you will no longer be on death row. I'll let you live. You will not be killed when you come back. If you come back without it, we kill you. And it ends up being about the people on death row and then executioners who are sent along with them to keep an eye on them, traversing this mysterious, mystical island. And I was like, and the dynamic between the two main characters is that criminal and executioner. And I think it's such a really cool, interesting dynamic to play out of like this person who's like, I'm here to make sure you don't mess up. If you do, I will kill you. and the criminal is like, the moment I get a chance, I'm going to kill you. I want to really play that dynamic. I think it'd be a lot of fun, especially in a situation where like you have a mutual threat, so like you're forced to work together. So I think like constant animosity is very hard to play out in TTRPGs. It gets old and very draining very quickly. So having like a mutual threat, which was in Hell's Paradise, the island itself, keep you together would be really interesting. But I think execution and criminal is a dynamic I really, really want to play out. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fun dynamic too. Like that's a lot of tension and a lot. Ooh, you would need a really solid GM for that one, but I would love to see that. I would
like solid GM and solid role play partner as well. Like if you have another player, because I think what I want to do is I want to play with another player who's like the executioner or the criminal.
Yeah,
like, I don't want it to be the GM. I want it to be another player because I think that'd be a lot more you can play around with. But yeah, there's a very, very flexible GM and very flexible, and you have to be comfortable with everyone at the table. I think as well.
No, I assume that you meant another player playing that role. I just mean that you need a GM that trust the players enough not to like go too far. I've had some jumpy GMs before, and it's just like, no, let them fight.
yeah. I don't think I could ever be at a table where I can't have tension because I feel like at this point I love it so much, like I can't go without it. So I definitely need a GM who's okay with that.
Oh, you're about to say something though, Anita?
Oh, I was just gonna say that the two of you actually play tension between each other very well at the table from our lock and key game with Bard and Barbarian.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I'd be so down. Like, there are very few people I'd play that dynamic with. Like, they're very like. Usually, I'm cool with playing with just anything with anyone. But they're like, I have a set of dynamics and things I want to play out. Like, I'm in a game right now where I'm playing a husband to a player who's playing my wife. And like again, there's like very few people I play like that dynamic with. You're definitely one of the people I play the criminal and executioner with. I'd feel comfortable playing with that with you. And I think it'd be a lot of fun to play that out with you.
I can't tell y'all. Okay, so in that game, I played a shitty character. This character has been around in my campaigns for a long time, and every time he pops up, Anita and everybody that is familiar with him hates his gut.
We get the chance, we'll jump that son of a
Gunther
bitch.
McHammer. His name is Gunther McHammer, and to make him an even bigger piece of shit, he spent some time in London, so I gave him a really bad British accent because I can't do a British accent. It tracks like I can see the fame.
It was the thing is Jack didn't mind. I thought it was very funny because I get fake accents all the time. But I leaned into my character being like, why?
Your character was like, I'm gonna fucking kill him.
Why is he faking an accent? Why is he doing this?
I love
that was a good game. That was a good game.
I missed that game. That was a really fun one.
I miss Diana. I miss playing with Diana as well.
Yeah, me too. I mean, shout out to her like doing her thing,
dude,
Wizards of the Coast and Magic the Gathering. I'm gonna try and slip my way into Magic the Gathering in Chicago this February.
Oh,
so I can come say hi. And steal some cards. No, I'm kidding. I would never.
I mean, if you hit out with Diana, she might just set you up. Who knows?
You know, I'm like beg for the ambassadorship. Like, please.
I need this.
Anita.
Only to Anita.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that one too.
I've made an enemy of Watsy. My last question, because I said I had to for you. My last question is, you have taken part in the TTRPG space as a designer, a writer, a producer, and an actual player. I was gonna ask if you could give newbies in each of these aspects of the hobby advice. What advice would you give them? Like, what advice would you give to up and coming producers, up and coming game designers, up and coming actual play players?
Yeah. I think I'll start with actual play players. I think when you're first starting out, if you're nervous, I think it's specifically for nervous people because I was very anxious coming in as well. I think be okay with playing yourself and just crank it up to like 11. One of my first games, my first stream games anyway, I was so nervous. Like, I remember that day, I think it wasn't caught on camera, you couldn't tell on camera, but I was like generally quaking, like fully shaking while I was on camera role playing. And I was like, you know what? I can feel these nerves, I can feel this anxiety. And I'm trying to like control it and push it down. And it's working to an extent, like enough to be able to do it, to play, but I can still feel it. So I'm just going to make my character an anxious person. I'm going to play an anxious character and lean into that and allow myself that grace of just trying to have fun, but understanding that I won't be able to be like the charismatic, like savant. I can just be this nervous character. And it was a lot of fun. Like I ended up like getting over the nerves by the end of it because I realized how well I was doing. But coming into it without like ridiculous expectations for myself, honestly helps a lot raise your expectations for yourself because you start to realize that actually I am decent at this. I can actually do this. I'm actually having fun. So I think that'd be my note for like my advice for first time actor players. Producers, I think I'll give one that I wish I had known earlier because I learned this through trial and error. But if you're going to be reaching out to players or potential players about the game you want them to play in, give them every single bit of detail so they don't even have to ask a single question, especially if you're reaching out to people of color or marginalized people, because especially having been a newbie in the space, I would always get very anxious to ask questions from people who reach out to me because I'm like, oh, they're taking a chance on me. This might be the last opportunity I get. I don't want to be a bother, so I'm not going to ask any clarifying questions to make sure I feel comfortable. So if you give them every single bit of information, so that if you run into someone like that, they don't even need to ask any more questions. You've given them everything they need, and that includes, even if you don't have a cast like confirmed, tell them the potential people, tell them the people you've reached out to or going to reach out to, so they can use that to decide on their decision. Because the last thing you want is to be like, hey, do you want to play this game? And then they find out that an abuser of theirs is in the game in session 0.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't like that's gonna be the most awkward situation. You don't want to give them that jump scare. You don't want to put them in an awkward situation of being like, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. And they'll put you in an awkward situation because now you're a player down deep into the producing process. So give them everything from the get-go. And they can be like, sorry, I don't want to play. If they see a name that they don't want to play with, it can be, so I don't want to play because of this person. They might be specific. And then you can use that to gauge what you want to do. But yeah, every bit of information you can to any potential players and GMs, of course, as well.
Yeah.
Writing. I don't know. For writing, I write what you find fun. Like all of the stuff I've written are things I wish I could play. Like with the Doctor Who one, I'm not even afraid. I think I'm okay talking about it. The Doctor Who one I wrote was oh, never mind. I can't talk about that.
NDA.
So I will reveal. I'll reveal this. I've written for Doctor Who more than once. You've only seen the first one, is all I'll say. So I was thinking about the one that hasn't been released yet.
Monumental exclusive.
So you get to hear that. So I nearly revealed that adventure. But I will say that the adventure I wrote for the 60th anniversary was very. They were like, hey, here's the premise, write around it. So like, they were like, you're on, Dr. Matt Smith and River Song find themselves on Mars, write something. So like, they gave me the basics and I wrote something out from that. The other one I wrote for the Doctor Who TTRPG was like an idea. Truly, I went to Vanna's place 2 years ago for her birthday and then after to GenCon. And we watched Willy's, I think it's Willy's Wonderland. If any of you watched it, it's a really bad.
Yeah,
Nick Cage. Yeah,
Nick Cage in
Nick Cage Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he doesn't say a single word.
No.
I remember watching it and being like, and midway through watching it, I was like, I have a Doctor Who idea, and wrote an idea based on that movie. It's like truly, if anything that inspires you, anything that entertains you, write it. Because that's going to be the most interesting thing for other people to play and read. The thing that they can tell that you're enjoying it when you're writing it. So definitely, if you can, because you're not always in a position where you can choose exactly the story you're writing. When you can, write the story that you find fun and enjoy, that you want to play out, that you have played out maybe. So that'll be my writer's
That's awesome.
advice.
And we also got to see remember your NDAs in real time.
Yeah. Luckily, so I didn't sign an NDA, but I do want this specific one to be a secret because it's a very fun and interesting premise that I wanna. When the time's right, I'll reveal it, but not just yet.
We look forward to the exclusive drop when that happens.
During our break, I'll probably tell Noah and Anita, but all of you watching can't know. Sorry.
No, this is awesome. But you were saying I'm sorry, Anita. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's it. That's all. I said what I was gonna say.
Oh, okay.
So, forward to the
In that
exclusive.
case,
Yeah.
well, in that case, let's not have to wait any longer. We're going to go on break for just a moment here. We'll be back with the dark roast, which again is more the same, except we get maybe a new that guy. I wonder if that guy will be the same as the first one we had when you were on, or if you've encountered a new one. We shall see.
We'll see.
All right.
I was playing this game. This guy was doing a really annoying English accent.
All right, and on that note, we will be right back. Go refresh your drinks. Go pet your animals, and or hug someone you love. We will be right back. And we're back. Hello. Welcome
Hello.
into the Dark Roast.
Hi.
We missed you. Did you miss us?
Lavia goes, are you sure the dark roast is to say, listen, I don't expect anybody else in the history of evidence to do to me during the dark roast what you did. That was a one-time deal.
Oh,
I've got my defenses up now.
I had to do a costume change.
Don't start. The costume changes are not gonna be a thing in the dark roast. I ain't got enough clothes for that. But yes, welcome to the dark roast. Let's just jump into it.
Yeah.
There is a segment that we like to do here in the Dark Roast called Petty Prime Time. This is where, if you would like, you can subtweet in real life. Now, of course, we wouldn't just push you off the cliff and have you do it on your own. We like to model the behavior that we expect from our guests. So I am more than happy to have Anita do a Petty Prime Time.
Not getting voluntold.
That's all good. If you see a post that's getting traction, check the date on it, because sometimes Twitter's forever, and sometimes things get resurrected.
I also got that post. If we're thinking about the same post,
Yeah.
someone DM'd me
Y'all
that post.
gave me hope. And I was like, oh, it's in the UK. Oh, wait, this was like 8 millennia ago.
Yeah.
Check the dates before you repost things.
I appreciate the sentiment to the people who sent it to me. I appreciate it, but yeah.
But I think you actually took advantage of that the first time. If I'm thinking of those, if we're talking about the same one.
Yeah, someone sent it to me the first time it was posted, and I did actually reply to it. And then someone sent it to me again yesterday, and I was like, "Hey, this is from like 2 years ago."
That's my petty prime time.
Just to illuminate a little bit for those outside to know, there was a casting call that was going around. Really good opportunity. The only problem is, one, it was an opportunity in the UK, so I don't know why motherfuckers were sending it to me. And two, this was a casting call that happened Oh, a while ago.
Yeah, I think it was like maybe 2 or 3 years
years.
ago.
It was 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
March 2022.
it would have been a great opportunity had I had a time machine that could also fly.
A TARDIS. You just described a TARDIS.
Yes.
I'm telling. If I had a TARDIS, I think the last thing I'm thinking about is a casting call. Then the first thing I'm thinking about is punching Ronald Reagan directly in his nuts.
Yes. But the things I'll do with a time machine, I cannot say on the internet because it'll put me on a list. Like the FBI will hunt me down.
For real. But that was a great petty prime time, Anita. I suppose I should go next.
Yep.
My petty prime time. Oh boy, do I even freaking have one this week? I think I'm relatively chill this week. All right, my petty prime time is just so these I I don't really I'm not angry this week. It's very strange. This is a weird feeling for me. I'm
It's
usually
okay.
very
I have that
angry.
effect on
Me.
people. It's fine.
Oh, you know what? Here's my petty prime time. Here it is. Here it is. The same energy that you use to go after somebody, I would love to see used in support of someone else. Like when it comes down to like the villain of the day, apparently motherfuckers got energy for days. But when it comes to like, somebody will put out, hey, we've got a fucking show coming out, come support or come retweet or come like or all that kind of shit. Like y'all will fucking stick to drama like flies on shit. But when it comes to supporting creators, that same energy isn't there. So my petty prime time is it costs nothing to retweet support of the people that you like. That's it.
I think that's fair. So that's definitely a big thing for me as well. Not gonna steal that, but to like piggyback off that and just give
go
like a
for it.
reference. I'll give my own one, but that reminded me again. Talk about Doctor Who again. So Doctor Cubicle 7, they're the publishers of Doctor Who, the Doctor Who system, the Doctor Who Teach RPG, and I think last year or the year before, I think it was last year, they released a 5e version of it, and was immediately hit with so much hate, and I remember seeing them being like, all of these people complaining about a 5e edition hasn't even mentioned or played or bought the original system they've been producing for the past, I think, 30 years at this point. So it kind of like highlighted to me how much people want just a reason to complain. Because not like they were ditching the original system. They're like, here's another way for people to enjoy Doctor Who in a teacher RPG format. People are like, how could you do that? How could you make it 5e? Blah 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 blah. And I'm here like, they have 30 years at least of history of making original Doctor Who teacher RPG content, to the point where every time there's a new Doctor, they release a new book. It's like, it's not even like they keep the same one until they make a new edition. Every time there's a new Doctor, they publish a new book for that Doctor. So like, just piggybacking off that, that's a very huge pet peeve of mine. But I'll give my own one, so I'm not leeching off of yours.
Oh no, feel free. Like we leech on each other's all the time. Like, that's part of the
I have one though. I do have one.
Let's hear it.
Like people, I understand you're busy companies, but like, just reply. Just be like, hey, we're not interested. I appreciate it. Just let me know. I'm a producer. I've done this a lot, but especially with Fabula Ultima campaign that is actually going to be premiering next week. Our Lives After. I was a project lead for it, so I was doing all the sponsorship outreach, and I reached out to maybe 50, 60 different companies. I only heard back from like 10 of them. And out of those 10, maybe 4 or 5 of them actually sponsored us. So like, just being like, hey, I'm not interested, or just something along those lines is very helpful, and it's just nice, and I think polite. So that's my pet peeve. Any
polite,
company that doesn't do that is annoying.
Yeah. Just
Oh,
even an automated
yeah, go
reply
ahead.
saying thank you, we got your email. Well,
honestly, truly, even that, like just something.
I've had that same thing where I've been like reaching out to companies and being like, "Hey, this is what we do. This is what we'd like from you," that sort of thing, and then it's just like nothing, ghost, no response.
Yeah,
God. Like, and I think that kind of plays into. I think one of the hardest things when it comes to sponsor outreach, because I mean, it's no secret we've been trying to figure it out here on this channel for a minute now. It's just like I think there's a certain level of audacity that one needs to have to initiate sponsored outreach. And like I think for a very long time we've been taught that that kind of audacity is not a good thing.
yeah,
But it's necessary. You know, like if you want this thing to work, you got to be able to walk into a room and go, y'all need to pay attention to us and here's why. And
yeah,
that to me personally is the hardest hurdle, to just like come in out the code and go, I'm that thing that you're missing. That takes a lot of swag, a lot of audacity, and a lot of confidence. All things I have none of.
I will say it took, at least for me, it definitely took like at first it was definitely the hard part for me at the beginning. Now it's just like second nature to me to do it. But like that's because I failed so much that I know what failure looks like, or like where I've done enough that I'm like I know how to improve on it now. So I can each and every time, each and every product I make is better than the last because of all of the hardships and errors I made on the previous one. Um, so each time I become more and more confident in the thing I'm creating, and as a result, I'm making it's a lot easier for me to sell the confidence to other people. To be like, so they're like, oh, this guy is so confident in what they're selling. I actually kind of feel confident in this thing as well. I'm gonna put money on it now. But it takes a lot of practice. Truly, it takes so much practice, and it's very draining if you're an introvert. I'm a heavy introvert, and it's very exhausting.
Yeah, I just well, like, and that's why I always admire folks that I see going out there doing it, because it's just like I know I know some people are like, oh, it's just reaching out to companies and asking them, but like it's a whole it's getting yourself into the mindset of being
Yeah.
willing to do that is incredible. Like, you know, and that's coming from a group of people that like will regularly perform on camera. Some of us have performed on stage, live at panels, like either playing a game or, you know, doing Q&As. Like clearly we don't have any problem, you know, putting ourselves out there, but this is a different kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like this isn't entertaining people. This is like asking them to see the value in you and putting yourself in a vulnerable position should they
Yeah.
say no, which which they know and you know they're most likely to say.
Yeah.
Which is
Like
like, ugh.
it's different because I feel like with performing, you're like so you're entertaining, you're putting yourself out there. But with sponsorship outreach, you're putting yourself out there as a product. You're trying to sell yourself. And that's like a whole different thing. And just in general, very weird and awkward to do. But also it's very hard to do that while also gassing yourself up at the same time. Because that's what you also need to do. You have to make yourself impressive and show all the things that make you impressive to
Yeah.
these sponsors. Yeah, it to get some practice and getting used to. And it's definitely like, while there's no like cookie cutter like templates, there are some like steps you can take to make it a lot easier on yourself, at least energy wise. Like one I always use is I do not write. I'm not afraid to say this. I do not write personalized emails. I have a template, and I have one paragraph in that template that I've personalized to the sponsor specifically. But other than that, everything else is a copy pasta because I just don't have the energy to be personalizing every single email every time I reach out to someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a huge time saver and a huge energy saver in the long run.
Morshadi says it's having the humility to say you need money, but having the audacity to say it's because you fucking deserve it.
Yeah, yeah.
You gotta come in with that JG Whitworth energy. It's my money and I need it
now.
I'm about to put on a Chasey Whitworth commercial every time I send an email out now.
Do it. Anything that gets you in the headspace, truly. Because I have I have an anime playlist that I play when I'm sending out emails to get myself in the headspace. Like I have an anime the climax of a battle playlist playing when I'm sending emails.
Gotta hype yourself up any way you can.
Yeah.
I'm so fucking serious right now. Like I'm like, oh shit, I think this might actually work for me.
Yeah.
Just send out a bunch of them and be like, yo, this is what it is. You got my money
Yeah.
and I need it now. Oh. All right, so now we've got our next part, which is before we asked you what your signature move as a player is. Now we would love to hear what your signature move as a GM is.
Oh. So I haven't GM'd much, at least not in comparison to how much I played. I've GM'd maybe 5 or 6 games in total, so not much. But I think my most recent game. So for Christmas, I ran a Fabula Ultima one shot for my sisters, and I think I'm pretty good with the cinematics. I'm really good at describing and putting people in like very cinematic scenes, and that's purely from watching other GMs I played with, and finding out that I love GMs who do that. I kind of grabbed onto that. I was like, okay, I want to do that when I GM now. It's like setting up very cinematic scenes and one-on-ones. I think I'm really good at doing like one-on-one scenes as a GM, with players to really highlight whatever is the core of that player's character, and tension. I had my sister so tense. The oldest of my sisters so tense with the opening scene. So I think I'm good with like cinematic tension and one-on-one scenes as a GM, and I'm far from great. Like I don't think I'm comfortable enough to GM on camera yet. Like for content, I want to GM a bit more to get the hang of it. But as of right now, I think that's like my strong suit.
Okay. I for one cannot wait for the moment where we get you GMing on screen or on stream. But no, that sounds awesome. That sounds you what's kind of funny is you've put yourself out there so much in the TTRPG space that now the value of being like the first channel to get you GMing has gone higher.
It's gonna be a bounty put out.
mean, that's terrifying to be honest. Because now that's out of meet the expectations. Then it's gonna be terrifying for me whenever that happens. I think I do one day want to run a game on stream, but right now I'm not quite ready. I think.
What would you run?
Okay. Ooh.
I think something simple. Like I picked Fabula Ultima because it's very simple. Because my sisters truly have no idea what TTRPGs are. And they really wanted to figure out what I do for like a semi-living / hobby. So like I'll can you run a one shot for us? So I was like, Fabula Ultima is simple for them to learn, but also pretty simple for me to learn. So honestly, probably that or another Powered by the Apocalypse system as a starting point. And then from there I'd branch off when I become more comfortable to other more complex or other systems.
Okay.
I like it.
I really want to like I had the chance to play test Fabula Ultima and I missed it, and I've never felt more salty.
If it makes you feel any better, we didn't actually get to play anything. We only built characters and did some world building. We didn't like roll dice.
I mean, but even like, see that makes it worse. Actually, let me explain what, because like everybody that took part of that was just like, that was so much fun. Oh my god! And I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, if character creation is that fun. Damn.
What's the actual game gonna be like? Like holy shit. No, that's actually gonna bring us to our next bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is what we like to call TTRPG confessionals. If you have a habit or something that you do at the table that isn't exactly the greatest, or something you feel like you need to improve a little bit. This is where you confess your sin and we give you a penance and then you go and sin no more. And of course, this is another thing that we aren't just gonna push you off the cliff on.
Yeah, that's why
We
Nora's going
will
first.
you motherfucker. God damn.
Nice. Yes, Anita.
You tried it.
Get his ass.
You were gonna try and get it twice. It wasn't gonna happen to me twice. It wasn't gonna happen again.
I was gonna do it
You were
twice.
right. I saw it coming. I saw it coming. I zigged when you were about to zag.
And that's why my baby ain't gonna be one of those white girls that trips in a horror movie. She gotta live with a monster every day. It's all that getting your reps in. Okay. All right, my sin. I know what it is. I'm ready to confess this one.
Uh-huh.
I am in an Aliens game right now where I am playing a character that is absolutely not optimized for combat in any way, shape, or form. I've got 2 whole hit points in the world of aliens. Now, the party has made me the captain of the ship. And we've got kind of like a family thing going on. Like we've bonded and we've become close like family. There will be scenes. There will be scenes where like my party member, like Kayla's character, Tig, who is a colonial marine, will be in danger. And like the instinct to go and try and help with my whole 2 hit points will come into play. And that's dumb. And like inevitably my character will like start to go to try to help only to be grabbed by another party member because they're all stronger than me. Because remember, 2 whole hit points. I'm the doctor. I got 2 hit points. So I think part of it is like the doctor doesn't want to see his crew die, but I think also part of that is just like when you sit at the table, there's a part of you that's just like, I'm the hero, and I am not the hero because 2 hit points. So that's my sin. Sometimes I go into hero brain forgetting that I've got 2 hit points.
Oh.
This is where y'all can give me my penance now. Anita, would you like to start?
2 hit points and 1 brain cell. Okay.
God, wow. You didn't need the freestyle.
Noir has his savior complex. Find out on the next Critical Misses.
Wow.
I don't like the fact
Also-
that I'm getting shut right now. Like,
Also, Chad
Jujutsu
is
Kaisen.
Chad is still yelling at you about not following through with your penance until months later.
Wait, what penance?
God, y'all gonna get another individual from the TTRPG space to hear this horseshit. All right, Jackson. Let me. One of my penance earlier on in the season was that I tend to be very verbose about wanting to be romanced in a TTRPG, and then like when it happens, like I might get a touch flighty and like no.
Fair.
And so there's this one particular instance where another player and me, we were just like, all right, we're gonna do the romance thing. And like they threw the pitch and I was supposed to swing, but I walked off the field.
Oh my god.
Don't judge me. So My penance was that I had to smooch in that game. Like
Okay.
a smooch needed to be done. And when the finale came, I smooched, and they're all giving me shit about it.
Forehead smooch.
It counts.
I hate to be this guy. I really do
Hashtag
hate to be
bitch
this
made.
guy, but I really hate to be this guy. Like, you know, you can see the pain in my eyes when I say this. But Noah has a point that it still counts. Unless he's specified on the lips.
I never did.
If that wasn't specified, a smooch on the forehead still
I
counts.
said a PC or an NPC, a smooch with consent.
Yeah, that's...
It was a PC, it was a smooch, and of course, there was consent.
I counted it personally as I was the one that initiated the penance, but Chad has other ideas.
And I will also say,
Mhm.
as someone I'm asexual, I will say different levels of affection also plays into account. So like, I think it still counts. It hurts me to side on Noah's side. It pains me. Like, I'm actually dying right now, but I think Noah may be late because the finale is wild to wait on that for that long. But especially for a smooch on the forehead. But you did it. So I think
I did it, is what we're saying. And I also answered it took more. It is more than it took over a month. I did. Listen, it's not that I didn't want to do it. We were in like the climactic, like a couple of last episodes, so it was all about dimension hopping.
You mean
and like
the part where there
the
was so much
tools to take-
dramatic tension that could have been broken with a smooch?
My character was very militarized, and it would have been outside of his character to just smooch midst preparations. Okay, I can't help that. Alright? It's
You had a chance before you started dimension hopping. Don't use that excuse. Chat watched the game.
I mean, I didn't watch it, so I can't say, I can't speak on that.
You ever feel people anger watching? That's what I was feeling the whole time we were playing. I just felt people watching like this, like
Excuses your GM set you up for it that same week and you didn't. Took you 4 more weeks. Anyways,
Is this predation? Is it the dinosaur? Yeah.
I think Noir also had a mini romance in All of the Witches one shot last year too, if I'm remembering right. Which I did. I did do that. I have romanced in games. Thank you all very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Emma, for coming to my defense.
You romance, but it was so, my character's whole point was to sabotage a romance, but you sabotage yourself so much that my character was like, let's just help him. Let's just give them a hand. Like, I fully was gonna play a villain. My character's gonna be like the antagonist of the protagonist group, of like the kind of asshole guy. But Noah's character was so helpless that my character was like, okay, let me help them out. Let me help them get with this person.
It was so funny. It's like one of the things you're trying to do. I think my character was like either reading or writing a poem.
You'll write a poem, yeah.
And you were like, hey, what's that poem? And like, my character's self-destructive. Oh god. Chat's still going at me, right?
Yeah. Okay, so my penance to you.
Oh right.
Yes.
I forgot that's where we're at, right?
Yeah.
This section will always be spicy. I have to acknowledge really quick that Lamia's right. I have not scheduled the Starcross game yet. I confess, I'm terrible with scheduling things. I'm sorry. I will get to it. I promise.
All right.
penance.
We'll have to wait another month or two for this penance. My penance to you is to
Yes.
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is the obvious answer of just stay in your motherfucking lane, but you are a doctor, sir.
Yes. Yes, I am.
If there is a way that you can facilitate assisting another character using the skill set you have, use that skill set in a creative way if you can. Like you're a doctor. If you have a player that's heading into a dangerous situation against like another enemy, be like, "Oh, I know about physiology. Here are weak points. Use those."
Okay.
It's
I will
like
take that
I
into
know about the way that
consideration and-
you work with your body. Maybe you are a little bit weaker on your left or your right side. Punch from the strong side. Feint from use like your knowledge of medicine to help them.
Okay. All right.
I was actually thinking the exact same things. I have to think of a new one now.
Yeah. And my secondary
Um,
penance is that you have to smooch. Anyways.
You can't. There's no such thing as secondary. You can't do it. I have no one to smooch in this game.
Smooch the
Hey, man,
alien, the forbidden
aliens are right there.
smooch.
Yeah, the
There's
final
two mouths.
smooch. Do I give a penance as well?
Yeah, you get to
Oh,
choose
yeah.
penance.
When you confess your sin. Oh, yeah. You also get to do a penance as well.
Yeah. That's a really good one because that's where I was going with it as well.
Mhm.
I think the other penance would be.
If you say smooch, I'm gonna fight you. I'm flying to the UK and I'm fighting.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, and user can't add a secondary smooch, but I can add my. No, I'm joking.
Your primary is just smooch.
I think. That's a tough one because I want it to still be related to it.
I asked for a gun and everybody told me no. And I was just like, but I'm scared. And they were like, fine. And then they gave me an empty gun. They're like, that'll make you feel better. And I'm like, okay.
I would say. Oh, okay. This is an interesting one. It's kind of partially related. I think it'd just be a really interesting storytelling, like thing. The next time your very martially abled companions like fight someone, have them spare them and use your doctor and like medical knowledge to keep this enemy alive and useful enough for whatever you need to do next. I think that would be a penance. At the very least, try and convince your allies to keep them alive, and then use your doctoring skills to keep them up.
I like this. I like this. I wish you knew more about my martially capable party members. Caitlin is a retired colonial space marine who got re-enlisted. Got attacked by a bunch of assassins who almost shot their arm off, and they just went full auto down the hallway, killing everybody. And then Lisa, they have a photon rifle with a grenade launcher attached.
Oh,
And they have consistently used that grenade launcher, wiping out everybody.
okay, yeah. So you're gonna have to use your doctor skills to put people back together. That's your penance. That's your penance.
I will do what I can to put whatever's left of people back together when they get done.
That is wild.
All right. Well, that has been my sin. Anita, would you like to confess your sin now?
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
I get obsessed with the idea or like a concept that I have in a game to the point at which I kind of forget about I kind of want to get the players to that point and forget about player motivations. I I I don't railroad them, but I do. There were tracks. There are tracks. Uh,
Yeah.
I need to work on it.
Okay.
Okay.
I've
Penance
got
for that.
I've got my penance.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would say that you need to hit a backstory milestone for everybody in the party before you can advance to that concept.
Okay.
So, like, instead of treating it like a railroad, treat it like an expressway where each backstory
There's
hit
backstory
is
on
like
ramp.
a marker. Yeah, a backstory on ramp, and then you take the turn once you've passed all those on ramps.
Okay.
I like that. I think mine's gonna go a slightly different route of have not huge, but like a significant thing be determined by a random table. Like have a table of things and
Ooh.
like have like not huge thing, like because I don't want it to be like story ruining, but like have something that's like at least semi-significant be determined by a random roll on the table that you do like right then and there.
Okay. Okay.
All right. And my secondary.
It's smooch.
Always smooch. Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just...
He's like, fine, you don't need to tell me.
Yeah, I'll smooch. I don't give a
All
fuck.
right. I don't give a fuck either. I'm chill. I'm down.
Your voice went pretty high there.
I'm
Anyways,
I'm unflappable.
Wow.
the bass.
All right, that brings us to you, Jax. What's your sin?
Yeah. This is a sin, like, I find it very funny because I remember a GM of mine pointed it out. It's kind of similar to yours, Anita, but because I'm very rarely a GM, it's more on the player side of like, I have character concepts in my mind, and they always come to me after watching like a show or an anime or a movie, and they're often based on a character from that show, anime, or movie. So a lot of the time I just play I just play that character, but with a new coat of paint on it. And a lot of time I still have my own motivation, still have it like lend to the story. I never make it like a weird thing that doesn't fit the story. But a lot of the time my characters are very easily noticeable to be like anime references or inspired by anime characters. So much so that I'm going to be in a campaign soon, and the gym was like, you can do anything you want, play any characters, but it can't be caricatures of other characters. And I'm like, damn it. That was for me specifically. That was like, no one else does this. That was a note for me, and I know. So I think that's my and I don't think there's anything wrong with taking inspiration, but I will say that mine are very often too obvious with some of my characters. So I think that's my sin.
Ooh,
Okay,
ooh,
I got it. But go.
Okay, no, you go.
No, you go.
No, you go.
You camera freeze again?
No, he just
No, he's just
really still. No.
Okay, I'll go.
Guess just gonna sit here.
I guess. Instead of making it one specific character pick 3 or 4 characters that have very similar traits or archetypes, and mash them together. Have them make a little weird baby.
Okay, I can do that.
Do a mashup
Yeah, I
of
can do
several
that.
different characters with the same traits or similar traits. Like take the backstory from one, take like some key character compositions from another, and just Frankenstein's monster this shit.
All right, so
I
my
can do that. Yeah.
penance is going to be a little different, which is make your character emulating that character part of the character. Like, let's say that there's
Oh,
something in world that they are emulating the same way that you're emulating that character, and now you get to have some really interesting moments of like, why did you choose this? Like,
yeah. Oh, that'd be fun.
it's kind of like
Have your character playing
fucking
a character?
Yeah.
kind of right, like it would be like if somebody saw the Terminator and decided I want to emulate that. Like in our world, we understand that they're emulating the Terminator, so have it playing out like that in the game world, where like everybody knows what you're emulating,
Yeah.
nobody knows why.
Yeah. So like, I'm for some reason I'm acting like a very famous swords master, and everyone's like, "You're
Yeah,
why do you have that scar exactly where the swords master has it? Did you give it to yourself? Like, what's going
like
on here?"
what
I like
is
that.
this? Why is he doing like I should?
Are you doing that? Yeah, I could do it. I could work with that. That'd be fun.
I love meta shit. But those are I think that's all the sins and all the penance.
Yeah.
That's
Think so, yeah.
been TTRPG Confessional. I'm starting to think the TTRPG Confessionals quickly becoming one of like our more popular segments.
It's really fun thinking about that.
We got to start holding other people other than me accountable for, for their penances, because I'm not sure everybody else has done their. Like, in fact, I'm certain Anita hasn't done almost any of their penances
have.
because
Oh,
they've confessed the same sin 3 times. And nobody knows their ass.
Here's the
about it.
deal. Here's the deal.
Damn,
Some of the
someone's
sins
being
that I've
called
confessed,
out.
I haven't had the chance to act out the penance for because a lot of them are GM related,
Oh,
and I haven't
oh.
GM'd anything in so long. And I was gonna GM something this season, but then I was like, our schedule's too full. I gotta stop.
Well, then other people start loudly fucking up the character.
So Anita,
Yo,
no,
wow.
Anita, innocence, you leave me alone.
Yeah, yeah. If I'm going down, I'm not going down alone. God damn it! I'm taking you with me straight to hell. Anita innocent. Okay. I'm sorry. Nina, you are in charge of the schedule. Oh, you ready for that accountability? Yeah.
I am in
I
charge
mean,
of the
I
schedule,
will
but I was told that it might be it's too much work to have a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday as the schedule because I'd be taking too much on my plate, and people are trying to hold me
Yeah.
accountable to be a little bit more responsible in terms of my time. That's what I
as a
was told.
producer, I will always say, mental health and time to just rest and do nothing takes
Yeah.
priority over any penance. I have no skin in the game, but that's what I Drac say.
Yeah.
So
Personally, I needed rest and relaxation before I was in the
okay, Shab.
headspace.
Okay, Shadwa. Okay. Okay, Noah. I care about everyone's mental health except for you, Noah. You specifically.
Fuck your mental health in particular. You suffer, you son of a.
Oh, well, that's the thing is AJ was offering to do the production, but I kept
Mhm.
but AJ offered to do the production on like the Mondays and Thursdays, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday show, and then I do Wednesdays and Saturdays, but kind of got. I also said I have this idea for a show, and they're like, that can wait until fall. So I've been bullied out of. I mean, I have another idea that I could do, and it was the one that did win out on my poll, but I need to buy a book for it, and
I'm just hearing a lot of excuses.
I'm
for
just
this.
gonna say real quick. Let me know what the book is. You don't need to read it on camera, but let me know what the book is, and I'll see if I can do anything about it.
Oh, it's a game we talked
let me
about
know.
earlier today.
It's just a whole lot of
Oh.
excuses is what I'm hearing right now. You know, sometimes we gotta make things happen. You know?
Wow.
Love ya.
Wow.
Anita wouldn't have so much on her plate if you were potting off your schedule on her.
Oh,
wow. Wow.
I came on here to bully Noir, but I'm here to witness the bullying of Noir. Apparently, I'm taking a backseat.
Man, I would just like to say that I have done a lot for this channel. I don't mention the things that I do because I don't think I have to. You know, I just like to put.
It's a
in the
team
work.
effort at the end of the day. Yeah.
You know, it's a team effort. You know. I feel like I am being unfairly targeted by the community.
I'll roast Noir, but I won't roast Noir about running a channel. Like I've helped run a channel before. I know Noir and Nita are doing ridiculous amount of work.
It's a
Yes,
lot
you
of
see
work.
But like
that?
I can,
My
I can like,
nemesis. My nemesis. Y'all can't watch
Drac,
Last
watch
Week's
Last
COD
Week.
if you want to see some fun.
I'll watch it. I'll definitely watch it.
So anyway, our next segment.
Back
Yes.
on
I'm starting to feel the heat leave Anita and come back to me. So we gotta duck and move. This is the TTRPG commandments. Now we have asked a number of our guests to add a commandment to the tabletop commandments, and I'll read you the ones that we have, and then you can add one of your very own. So we'll start with Sarah, Hype Goblin, whose commandment is everyone at the table should be just as invested in other people's stories as their own. My commandment is the perfect table is one where no one person's fun is more important than the others. Amelia Tyler, the narrator for Baldur's Gate, their commandment is thou shalt create fun experiences with players less experienced than you without the GM asking you to. Dr. Emily Friedman, thou shalt play many different games with many different people. Thou shalt not treat people as things. Alec the Bard says prioritize telling a good story as a group instead of as an individual, and thou shalt give your baddies daddy energy. Andre Riviere says thou shalt add to the world you're playing in and not just live in it. Mitalamia says thou shalt stay connected to their internal experience and communicate actively with the table. And Sam DeLive says thy fun and that of thy fellow players is not wrong. So, what is Drac's commandment?
So because if it's like standalone, I know what I'd give, but because it isn't, because like I like the idea of it like being on a stone tablet.
Yeah.
All of these on. We have a lot about prioritizing other people, like sharing the spotlight, sharing the space. So I won't add another one of that. But I think one I will add, I think this is, it's not even like a commandment. I think just like a practice I think more people should do.
Mhm.
And it's actually coming off of what you said, Noir, saying that you want a moment where you're like jumping up a dragon.
Yeah.
I think a commandment should be both GM and players facilitate a moment for each other.
Wow.
Like at the beginning of a campaign, or even like halfway through a campaign, just be like, hey, does everyone have a thing they want to do? It doesn't even have to be story related, just can be like a cool thing like jumping up a dragon. And then like find a way to let that happen. If it makes sense, obviously. Don't bring a dragon into like a sci-fi game where there are no dragons. But like
No, bring
if it
dragons
makes
to a
sense,
sci-fi game. That's awesome.
Honestly, that is really cool. That science fantasy is very cool. More people should do it. But like, but yeah, I think like both. I don't know how to make that sound old Bible-ish, but both GM and player shall facilitate a moment for one another.
Yeah, that's exactly what I have down. I love it. We've got Drax Commandment, which is it's okay.
Okay, cool. When this commandment gets you your dragon moments, don't come. You better say thank you to me.
I'm gonna start. I'm gonna print this out in like a fucking epic scroll and just point to that when I want a fucking moment. Drax said it right here. Give me my goddamn dragon fight. You listen, do you know how many times I've played an ASMR that can fly, and not one time in the campaign has it ever been useful? Because
there's one I really want to do because they're very similar to yours. So one of my favorite, other than the Hexblade Warlock, one of my other favorite warlocks is the Fathomless Warlock. That's the like underwater themed one. And one of the
shit.
abilities they have is really, really cool. It's really cool, at least thematically. I don't know how it is like power wise, but thematically it's really cool. But one of the abilities it has is that you can teleport you and I think up to four other players will other four other winning creatures to a location you've been to before. And one of the things I really wanted to do in the game that I played this for a bit in was to be in a situation where we're like cornered, we're like in like on the edge of a cliff or like a high tower, and like there's nowhere for us to go. And I turn to the players and be like, everyone, trust me, jump, and like jump off the cliff and then teleport people mid fall. Like I always wanted to do that. But like we've never been in a situation where we're like on the run. We've never been in a situation where like we're very clearly cornered and there's no other way to go. It's like we never got to play it out. But like there's something cool about being like in a situation where you seem helpless, which you're like falling, but you do something cool in that moment. There's something that's like scratches an itch and those kind of stuff.
Like I hate how much of like we think sometimes because like I have always wanted my character to fully discover their ASMR by seeing a party member get knocked off a cliff and just running to go help, not realizing that they have the wings. Like, oh,
like those moments.
God damn it, GMs! Give us the cinematic, like, and then after a moment like that, how could I not smooch? Right? I just
honestly, yeah, that's a pretty good moment to smooch after that.
That's a smooching moment. It's not that I'm not smooching. It's just that my bar for smoochable moments is too damn high.
It's not. Right? You need to have a worthy moment for the smooch.
Right, you're not just gonna look. I'm just gonna be like, "Hey, we gotta get these weapons." Also, mwah. No, man, I gotta discover that I'm part angel, freak out about it, and then give a smooch. All right. I watched too much soap operas growing up. That's what I'm starting to realize.
I think it should be allowed. I think you should bring in these like cinematic moments because I think it is possible to do. Right. Just so there are GMs and players that are down to help it.
Okay, chat's got a pitch for me apparently. D&D game where you jump off the dragon to save someone, then smooch them after getting them to safety, then diving back down to smite the BBEG.
Just everything.
It's the you set the love interest down and just be like, wait, hold on 1 second, and then you just go and fucking pounce the BBEG.
I can't tell you how horny that pitch just got me. All right, that's what I need in my games right there. Then I'll be then you couldn't stop me, smooch.
I'll be smooching everyone.
I'm smooching the BB. The town mayor's like, you saved the town, and I'm like, fuck her up, old man. Daddy takes his rewards and kisses.
Morshadi picked up Boyfriend Dungeon, the TTRPG, and it's all fighting and smooching, and we'll make sure that there's a dragon.
Oh my god, I need to check out that TTRPG. I remember hearing that being announced.
Wait, hold on. Boyfriend Dungeon. What the fuck is Boyfriend Dungeon?
That's
Uh,
if I'm remembering correctly. Shadi, correct me if I'm wrong. It's based on a video game, right?
yes.
Wait, is
Um,
that the one where the boyfriends are the weapons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of them is a cat.
Okay.
I think that's a really cool concept. That's another thing I would love to play. I would love to play like, because I want to play more weird characters. So one of the characters I'm planning on playing one day, so this is for a game Lexi McQueen's going to be running. I'm playing we all know a headless horseman, right?
Yeah.
I want to play the head of a headless horseman and nothing else, just the heads, and just play something weird like that and see what it's like playing that kind of character and the limitations it puts me in. Because I just think it's really fun playing in limitation and restrictions. But yeah, no, that sounds playing a sword sounds like so much fun.
So I actually I wrote a class very much based on what was it, Soul Eater, the anime.
Oh yeah,
And essentially the class was you are a party member's weapon. And so what you would do is you would on your turn roll for damage. Like you with the assumption that you already hit.
oh nice,
Uh,
yeah.
and on the player's turn whose weapon you are, they roll to attack, they roll their damage, and then they get to add your damage on top of their damage because
Oh
you're the
nice,
sword. So
yeah.
and then you would have special abilities that you could choose to give the other player access to or choose to trigger on your own. But I stopped doing that after a while. But I just thought it'd be so much fun, like to be just like I'm
A
walking
weapon,
around as a person, but like when the fight starts, I just turn into this big ass great
yeah.
sword.
Morshadi says that in the Boyfriend Dungeon TTRPG, you can either be a wielder or a weapon.
Nice. Okay, so it can be the being able to choose either or is good. That's a really nice choice. Interesting. I need to check that out.
Yeah, I kind of want to check it out. That sounds fun. I guess. All right. So I think that brings us to the big one. Check the book. We
Comfort
have a
blanket
book.
players.
Oh yes. See, I always forget that one. See, that's why we check the book.
Check the book.
So there is something that we're coining the comfort blanket player. The easiest way to describe what a comfort blanket player is if you get invited to a table and you don't know anybody at the table except one person. Who's the person whose name it is that you're like, oh, I don't care about who else is there. That as long as that person's there, I know that I'm gonna have fun. I know I'm gonna be
Oh
safe. Like they're your
yeah.
comfort blanket player.
Oh, I think that's definitely Stella Luna.
Yeah.
Definitely like even just like generally working with them, like they're my like comfort blanket person. I think they're my comfort blanket, like teacher TTRPG performer, GM, like like project leads, like co-producer. Definitely Stella. Yeah, I can be sure that we're gonna have it's gonna be safe for one. Because Stella won't say yes to a game that isn't like they would vet most games that they get into. But two, I have like someone I can definitely 100% bounce off of and have fun with if Stella's there.
Hell yeah. Do you have any other ones? The comfort blanket is it's not just a one person thing, it's as many as you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, I think so. I think I have many for like, but for differing reasons. I think Stella's like
Okay.
the most well-rounded of them all. Of like, I feel safe with them. I know I have fun
Okay.
playing with them. I also have like Humner and C are definitely big ones for me. Purely in the fact that I know that I will have like we will tell a story. Like with Humner and C, we will lean into the story so hard and have so much fun with it. And like if I know that if I know they're in the cast, I know I'm gonna have fun playing. So definitely Humner and C for that as well.
Okay.
Liv, just cause I adore Live in a day. I adore Liv. Don't tell them I said this. They're another one of my enemies that I'll never admit I like. But Liv is like I Liv is also one of my comfort people that when I'm in, like when I hang out with them, like even if we haven't, it's like one of those people where we don't talk for ages, but when we talk again, it's like no part time has passed. It's just
Yeah.
like back to exactly how it was before. So yeah, I think those
I
are my
like
comfort
that.
blanket players.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right. Anything else on the list before we go to the big one?
Anything else on the list? Sorry. I had to let chat know the reason why it's one per person for hydrate commands. Uh,
Oh yeah, because somebody tried to drown me.
yeah.
They just spammed hydrate, and I was too stubborn to stop.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
yeah.
Of course you are.
It turned into a wet t-shirt contest, and not a fun one.
Wait.
Yeah, my middies were all out there. Hey, somebody trying to riz up my partner in chat right now?
That's what I was saying.
Oh, Darren's reading that.
Hey, I'm like, yo, you got me swooning. Go for it.
Damn.
I think that's all on our list, though.
Okay, all right. What about me? This username does not exist. Do I bloom?
Yeah. What?
What about my radiant smile? You motherfucker.
Let
I'm beguiling. Look at me beguile.
okay, here's the deal. Every single time we try to pay you compliments, you go off camera. You
So
hide.
you've been in the TTRPG community long enough. You probably have
Hey,
to display your
doing it
faith in
right
that
now.
guy.
Pivot.
That guy is a veritable black hole of fun at the table. Somebody who, if you yeeted them into the sun, your experience at the table would increase tenfold. So, Drax, I have to ask you: have you played with that guy?
Yes, and it's a different one from the last time I was on.
Oh, I'm sorry, and also I can't wait to hear.
um, I won't go into too much detail. I'll be honest, I've been in so many games. I think even if I did go into detail, it'd be hard for you to figure out what game it was. But it leans into the whole commandment of everyone like facilitating a moment for everyone because I was in a game with someone. I think it's been a while now. But I was in a game with someone, and I don't know if it was just that they didn't like realize it, or they just didn't care. But they kind of encroached on other people's moments a lot. Like in situations where like this is very definitely clearly between a GM and a one player or between two players. They kind of encroached in it a lot, and it was very frustrating to watch and to experience. Because I don't know, I feel like I've played enough, and I feel like maybe you two can kind of like relate, where like you can be like you're like, oh, I can see a moment happening. I can't wait to see what happens.
Yes.
Like I can see it in the making. I'm gonna sit back and watch this play out. And there's been so many situations where I'm like, oh, I can't wait to watch these two players like hash it out or have a heart to heart. And then this other player steps in and kind of ruins it without fail. And it was very frustrating.
I
Yeah.
I think we might have had the same bad guy. We'll have to talk after the show. No, but I hate that more than anything, especially if you're playing with a player who especially if you're playing with a player who doesn't fight for themselves. You know what I mean by that? Like somebody who's not going to push back against having their moment stolen. Like that
It's yeah. Also, I completely forgot. Of course, Caitlin's also one of my
safety
play. For sure, safety play. Caitlin, I think it was very funny because Caitlin and I always end up playing characters who are either siblings or best friends just because we have that vibe naturally. It's so much fun. I still think fondly about Cases of Costa Vega. But yeah, definitely Caitlyn as well. If I could get a table with all of that cast, and I'll be honest, I have thought about it a lot, but what kind of game I'd want with like that cast of like all of it would be like
Oh, you're
just
the
for
little
me.
sibling
And
too.
yeah, I was. Um, but yeah, I think now I'm thinking about it. After this, I'm gonna start thinking about producing an actual player that with just
Hell,
my just my personal
yeah,
security
yeah.
blanket players.
Caitlin, you were actually one of the inspirations for my tabletop confessions. I confess that sometimes Doc, with his 2 hit points, wants to go out and protect people, even though he's got 2 hit points. And the rest of his party is made out of brick house marines.
Made out of brick house marines is so funny.
Well, let's see. We've got 2 fucking Marines. One emptied a clip in a hallway, taking out everybody. The other one dropped grenades, taking out everyone. And the other one is the last person in the party is a synthetic android, who can rip open metal doors. And I'm just I'm a 60-year-old doctor.
I mean, I will say there's something fun about having that restriction. Like again, I enjoy putting restrictions on my characters and then seeing what I can do with it in different worlds.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, when your shit goes down, it's very much like get your old ass out the way, and then I won't listen, and then it's like that scene in SpongeBob. Like, how many times do we gotta teach
Got
you
to
this
tell you,
lesson? Like, I think one scene it was described as Caitlin's character like tugging my character like a fucking cat by the neck and just moving me out of the way. But that
Oh
was
yeah, Kaylin, you have we brought you up a couple of times. We brought up Jacob's gun that you named Jacob's gun as my special talent that I bring to the table as well.
this was a Caitlin heavy episode.
Yeah.
And you almost missed it. How dare
You almost missed Caitlin Bruder appreciation hours, but that's literally 24/7, 365.
Yeah.
But that was the That Guy segment, which means that there's really only one thing left, which is the community spotlight. This is where you can give love to anybody in the scene that you feel has helped you, anybody that you feel is not getting the shine that they deserve, anybody you think that we should reach out to put them in the hot seat next. Just this is all you to just show love to the space, because the Dark Roast is like negative for like 80% of it. So we try to end on a high note.
That's honestly very, very smart, very good. I talked about Stella a lot, but I honestly think it's Stella again. Stella is truly an incredible. Actually, I want to say Stella and Humna. I'm going to give two people. Stella and Humna.
There's no limit. You can list as many as you like.
Yeah, I think Stella and Humna for sure. I think they want the best for the community more than not more than anyone. Because I know many people want the best for the community, but at least for me, I'm actively seeing what they're doing to make that happen a lot. And again, I guess that's partially because I've been brought in to help with that. But definitely Humna and Stella, they're working really hard to get like new people into the hobby as a whole, getting more people paid in the hobby and the industry as a whole. Yeah, so I think I'll say Stella and Humna for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, I don't hang out with them nearly as much as you do, but I have seen people come in this space, come to get theirs, and it was just like, I got mine, fuck everybody else.
Yeah.
And I have not seen a lick of that in Stella. I don't know how not as well, but it's just like it's always blown my mind how every time it feels like Stella and you to be fair, even though I hate saying anything nice about you, every time y'all have advanced, it's immediately followed by, "Hey, we figured out something. You want to know how we figured it out?" I'm like,
It's
this is gonna be the reason there'll be one tear when I put you down.
the one thing to regret. If you're able to take me down, we'll see. It's gonna be a villain story.
We still need those black people powers.
I'm gonna be the one taking them. I'm going for all for one. That is the power I want. But yeah, no, like Stella and Humna are truly like the two people who I'm always seeing constantly trying to innovate in the space and also share how they're innovating. And at least for me, it's because like I had that with other people. Other people taught me like most of the things I learned has been through like Vanna, through Jess, Burst of Hope, through Stella, to be honest. Like I've learned from other people and they have as well, and they're like, okay, cool, I just want to pay it forward. And also help other people skip the trial and error stage, because a lot of what we're learning is through trial and error. So we want to help other people not have to go through the error parts and just try these things and just do these things.
That's amazing. We need more people in the space doing that. And like I always joke that it feels like there are graduating classes of Twitter influencers and the like, and like your Twitter class is definitely one of the much better ones. So we'll just like leave it at that. Is there anything else you would like to add, Anita?
I know. I think that this is as good a place as any to. Noir, do you have anybody you want to shout out during the community spotlight?
No. Like no, I'm sorry. There is one person I'd like to shout out. This is a hardworking individual who like is always putting out the best that they can, even though there's some opposition that they face. Some might say
Anita, they're talking about Anita.
Unwarranted opposition. You know, they try real hard. They work hard every day, and you know, I just want to give a shout out to one Noir Nick. You really out here,
sure.
You really out here dealing with a lot of nonsense.
Anyway, can we like work them out?
Yeah, we're gonna. I'll start playing the wrap it up music.
The outro music, wrap up music. Yeah, let's end this quick.
This injustice won't stand.
But
I'd like to thank me and only me.
Y'all, this has been a fun episode of Morning Ritual. But before we wrap up for the day, I'd like to thank everybody for showing up, and thank you, Drac, for hanging out with us today. But don't forget that we have a Patreon for this. You can sign up for the Morning Ritual Patreon, and we actually have previews right now of who our guests are for the upcoming month and a little bit. We've got our next season slate for January and February. So you can see who's going to be on the docket for the next little bit if you back us on Patreon, and you get the chance to ask questions like the one that we asked in the first half. Why are you so cool?
You can ask anything you want. It'll be funny.
Yeah, you know what? I'll open it up to the hosts as well. If you have questions for the hosts, feel free to ask them if you follow us on Patreon.
Oh no! Why don't do that? Don't do. They will fucking pay out a spike to ask me some bullshit.
Listen, money's money. I'll take it.
Honestly, you get that bag. Yeah, you got to secure that bag.
Listen. But other than that, we also have merch, which you can sign up for. There's a Fourth Wall shop, and you can see some cool merch. And I've got some more designs coming soon. I've got a crunch design in the works that I need to get someone's permission
Disgusting.
for, so that I can make it. But yes, that's been our episode of Morning Ritual. Drac, where can the folks find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Draconics. That's Drakoniques. I'm there on every other. I'm on social media under that username everywhere. Um, I will also very specifically shout out that next Thursday, so the 25th of January, you can catch me over on Stellar Luna's channel in the premiere of a Fabula Ultima campaign called Our Lives After. It's going to be very anime inspired, very JRPG inspired. So check that out. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we got a thing that we're working on that I think will blow many people's minds, but
Ooh.
I won't say too much on that just yet. But yeah, I'm on a bunch of other channels, but you can just follow me on Twitter to find out where I am at any given moment.
Awesome. And I've been one of your hosts, Anita. You can find me here most times, sometimes over on Modiphius' channel on Tuesdays for Star Trek Adventures, on Sundays over on Indoor Adventures for a Apocalypse Keys game, and Noir.
I've been your other host, Noir. You can find me all over the internet as the Noir Nickla. That's Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, OnlyFans, Pornhub, wherever. Um, every Monday you can find me on Althaven for Beacon. We're starting a new season. See if my two hit point doctor survives another season. I would bet on it. Then every Friday you can find me over on Gen Con TV on Twitch, where we talk table takes. And table takes is our new show about everything TTRPG. Then on Saturday you can find me right here for Morning Ritual. Our next guest is
Our next guest is 1 second. I gotta get that.
A
Going.
really long name.
Our next guest is Click Clack Snack.
Click Clack Snacks.
We already know how the crunch question is gonna go just by the name.
Oh yeah.
I'm not looking
Click,
forward
clack,
to
snacks.
and their logo is like the mouth eating the dice. Oh no.
My
Clack,
army only
snack.
grows stronger.
This is a problem. Then on Sunday you can catch me over on Indoor Adventures for our Apocalypse Keys game. I'm playing Judas Iscariot. Yep, that one.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
We've got a personification of the Library of Alexandria, a personification of the Garden of Eden, a literal biblical angel, and Judas.
Oh,
That's our party.
I love that. Okay, cool.
We're team religious trauma.
We've got a couple of new shows coming to Critical Misses. One of them is You Meet at a Table, where I take people from the space that have not played together that should play together, and I put them at a table so you can see some of your faves meet and play. And finally, I have a game coming out in February called Raiders of the Lost Tribe. It is a Haunted West, all black actual play cowboy game. Yeehaw. I'll be posting more information about that later. But stop perceiving me now. Thank you all so much for watching. And as always, the ritual has concluded. Is that what we say? The ritual, it's over, y'all. The show's done.
We're heading over to our good friend Sam DeLev over at The Lovely. And yeah, thank you all so much for joining us. We love you lots too. Bye, Caitlin. Love your beautiful face too.
Bye, Caitlin.
Bye, Caitlin.
Bye, everybody else.
I love you.
Ritual's
I'll reach
concluded.
out. I swear to God. No, the ritual's concluded. I said it.
The ritual has concluded. Bye.